Who's Johnny? A pitch to Johnny? I'm Johnny. Little Giants.
You're muted, buddy. You're muted.
Why did you mute my mic? I had a good intro. Good. If you would have just left it alone to begin with, Tanner, it would have nailed it. It comes off automatically. Because you muted me, it messed it up.
A pitch to Johnny during the 6 minutes in the
intro. It was a pitch to Johnny. Who's Johnny? Oh, gosh. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another great LTS show. I'm fired up already. I am your host, Bodkins. We're back, and football is back according to some people. No, the fuck it's not. That is not football on TV. I could care absolute less about the football that's going on right now during this Hall of Fame game. I could care less. I care more about the ingrown hair on my ass than I do about that football game that's going on right now. I don't care about it. You might as well just turn on the CFL, the XFL, run down to your local high school team and watch them play 7-on-7. That's what it's like out there. We're not seeing the stars. We're not seeing Aaron Rodgers. We're not seeing Garrett Wilson. They're not playing in this game. They're not going to play all preseason, folks. All I care is that both teams have fun and both teams come out healthy. That's all that matters. Can we just get to the regular season? Week 1 is when football is back. Don't give me this preseason bullcrap Hall of Fame game, the least game that absolutely matters of anything tonight. Don't give me this football is back. Go turn on a baseball game. We just had the trade deadline. My Cubs are hot right now. Go turn on that, baby. Not this boring-ass bullshit football game. All right, let's get into the show. We got a great show. We got the guys joining us. It is our AFC. Speaking of bullshit, we got the AFC South Preview, and that whole division is a bunch of dog shit, and we're going to break it down tonight with our Just Fans guys. We're going to be talking a little post-UFC 273 with our guy Witt, a little Spence Crawford as well. Man, I'm fired up tonight. I needed this. Let's go. We're going to bring in Johnny. Johnny is rocking the Limp Bizkit Fred Durst New York Yankees hat tonight.
That's how you start the show, bro. I love the energy. I had to pull out the fresh red Yankees. This is the best thing that's going on in the Yankee season right now is this hat because the team is absolute garbage right now. But we're here to talk about football, so you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to talk about baseball, but I'm not much into this game either, especially because it's the Jets. But honestly, it's the Hall of Fame game. It's just people running around that may not be on this team in a couple weeks. So, but yes, football is here, and you know what I'm saying that's cool and everything. But when we get into the second, third preseason game and see what happens, he was
even that
playing.
Doesn't matter, Johnny.
It matters
the real
to
guys.
me because it matters to me because I care about my team and like the end of the roster.
I care about my team. I care about week 1. That's who I care about when I'm on the roster.
I feel you, but
let me ask you this:
I'm more into it than you are. Then I guess as far as preseason.
I don't care. That's like caring about preseason baseball. All 30 games for the whole month of March. I could care less.
I don't care about.
I don't care, man.
Shit. I just care about guys getting through it healthy, like you said. Definitely, which I've already,
get healthy.
Run into that. Get through it healthy, but I want to see the young kids, see who's developing. See if our draft picks are taking that next step.
I'll pay
Eric
attention to the minor
Ezukama,
league game.
Eric Ezukama, wide receiver we got last year, who didn't play one snap this past season, but supposedly got the offense, and then he gets hurt today. You know what I'm saying? So that's the shitty part. You know what I'm saying? But I like to see the young guys and see who's going to step up and develop and stuff like that. But so I'm a little bit more into it than you are, but I feel you, though.
I just
you know what I'm saying? Like it ain't the end of the world. If I don't watch 2 minutes of it, it ain't the end of the world. I don't give a shit. But you know what I'm saying? I want to see my team.
It isn't. Let me ask you about I want to ask you about the Yankees. The Yankees they made one small move. They didn't do your sell. What's your feeling? Are the Yankees headed for dead last? I hope so.
I you know what I'm saying, like, just because I'm riding that petty boat that you ride or that you steer, actually. You know what I'm saying? Just to piss off the fans that get on my nerves, the Yankee fans that get on my nerves. I don't mind them shit in the bed. To be completely honest, I mentioned this. I don't know if you remember, a couple months ago, once he got hurt, Aaron Judge got hurt. I said, just shut him down for the rest of the year. We got him 9 more years, and let's try to trade off whatever pieces we got now, because they weren't playing bad at the time. You could have got rid of some pieces there, in my opinion, and try to, try to break it down earlier. But they got this false sense that they were actually going to try and do something, and they couldn't do shit, and then did absolutely nothing to make themselves better, either by subtracting or adding on. They added on a reliever and they bought a pitcher, basically. That's it. So they did nothing, basically.
I mean, they didn't get rid of anybody. They didn't, I felt like my Cubs made moves to bolster now and in the future.
No, dude, a bunch of organizations did that. Even though, it's funny that the Mets, are the biggest disappointment possibly in baseball history, having like a $350-400 million payroll, and they're selling off people, before August 1st. So, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, they're bringing back young pieces, and they're going to build up their farm system. We did absolutely zilch nothing, bro. We got a reliever I never heard of, and that's about it. And Brian Cashman has the nerve to say, "Oh, well, we're in it to win it." Really? Like we're like 2 games over. We're 2 games over 500, bro. Like, come on, man. So don't lie to us. Just be like,
it's funny you mentioned.
I couldn't get shit
It's
done.
funny you mentioned. Before we bring in Scott, it's funny you mentioned the Mets. The Mets are paying $131.8 million, or million dollars for players to not play for them. More than 12 other payrolls in all of baseball. They're paying
about right, but
more money for players not to play for them than more than 12 other payrolls in all of baseball.
He's the new George Steinbrenner, bro, but with more money. You're saying he's worth like $11-12 billion, so he don't care. He said it, and it was smartly. He was like, "No, let's trade some of these guys, and I'll pay for it, and we'll get some good young players." Because by them paying the salaries, they got better better prospects back. So they're gonna wind up with like a top 10 prospect, top 10 in all of baseball after these few trades. So I like what they did. As embarrassing as it is that they had to blow it up, but at least they did something with it. We did dick shit. And with nothing, and we're probably gonna be last in the division, and hopefully some people, some position changes or something. Somebody mentioned Brian Cashman maybe going to president and they get another GM. Please, that would be great, because they need somebody else to sign some players, bro.
Yeah. Hey, let's go ahead. We'll bring in Mr. Gambler himself, our own Hall of Fame. We're watching this crappy Hall of Fame game. I'd like to see Scott Coe play in the Hall of Fame game. Our own Hall of Famer, Mr. Scott Coe. Scott, it must have been haircut night at the nursing home.
Keith Engel special right here. Keith Engel took special pride in giving me the haircut, so I'm very happy with it. I had to throw Keith $10 tip so we could go to bingo tonight, so I could have this time to be on the show. So, and I had to cut it short. I took the Jets because Zach Wilson said he saw a couple of hot mums in the stands, so he was motivated to play tonight. So
nice.
He's not winning on the field, but he's winning off the field.
He could be winning both places, 13-0 Jets right now. So
right. True.
Nick, you have no interest in John Kelly Jr. of the Cleveland Browns tonight?
Who? No.
John Kelly Sr. loves John Kelly Jr. So I'm just saying,
I know
Football
Joe
is-
Kelly, the baseball pitcher.
Yeah, well, football is kind of back.
Back to the
Not
Dodgers.
fully back yet, but it is kind of back.
It's not back. It's not. This is like telling a paraplegic that he can wiggle his toes and he's going to walk. Come on, that's not. We're not back. You're back. You can wiggle your toes. No, you're not back.
All right, we got some love here from Okie Packer fan 10. What's up, bro? He's loving the Reggie White jersey.
Scott, who are
something that I made
on before we bring in
This
Sam?
is an idea for a cruising top 5, not for nothing. The top 5 best, free agent signings in NFL history. That's one of my ideas for one, and Reggie's going to be in that top 5. It just depends where.
No doubt.
So bet wise today, I took the Jets. They were given a point. I just thought that with Zach Wilson starting the quarterback, the Jets would be in a much better position than Kellen Mond in Cleveland. So I took the Jets. I took Texas on the money line. The Rangers. Scherzer started today. I took his strikeout prop, which was over 7.5. He struck out 9. It was shaky for a while. Texas was down 3-0 for a while before they finally woke up. So I didn't bet a lot today. There wasn't a lot on the slate today that I liked. I didn't know. I wanted to bet the Cubs, but I just was not sure about how the Reds would perform tonight.
After we scored 20 and 15, Scott, I would have thought we wouldn't score another run for the next 2 weeks.
That's what I'm saying. That was my fear tonight, that the bats would go silent, or David Ross would rest Bellinger and whoever else he could find to bench. But they're up 4-1 right now, so they're for real right now. They're for real. They're only 3 games out of the division.
Yeah, it's music to my ears, baby. We're back, baby. That's what's back, Scott. Not football. The Cubs, baby. The Cubs are back. I say that until we play Jonathan's Braves on a 3-game set and get swept.
Here's what I said the baseball show Tuesday before you go to Sam and Tanner. I said that the Cubs took a sigh of relief after the trade deadline was over and they got rid of nobody. And now they're hitting the ball.
Fans did, I think. The fans did, right?
They did. They did too. Jed Hoyer had to have his arms tied down to not make a trade. So
yeah. Don't call, Jed. Don't call anybody. We're no longer taking calls. Ricketts went down to the secretary and said, Jed, hey, if anybody calls Jed about Cody Bellinger, just hang up. Say we're not taking calls. So she wouldn't patch any Cody Bellinger calls through to Jed Hoyer. Anyway, we're talking the AFC South tonight, so I know this guy's super pumped, and we're going to bash his team all night long. None other than Mr. First Down, Sam.
What it is? What's up? Nick Pockets in the club whining like a bitch. That's what I hear. Goodness gracious.
Just because you don't know anything other than Titans football, the Titans aren't even playing.
Honey, come on, baby. Don't be this way. Come on, man. Hey.
Sam, this is like the reason I don't like it is because, like, when my mom was telling my dad was coming back with his cigarettes after missing for 5 years being in prison, he never came back. So I always, when people tell me they're back and it's not really the real deal and it was my stepdad sliding in, that's the reason I don't like it back. Don't give me this phony bullshit.
Well, okay. Well, I'm sorry that you've tied a personal thing into it, Cupcake. All right, you want me to give you $1 for quarters to go to the arcade or something like that? Anyway, how we doing tonight, boys?
How excited are you to talk about AFC South?
Pretty excited. I like the division. I don't think it's totally bullshit. I think it's somewhat intriguing. Not all the teams, not as intriguing as some other divisions, but there's some.
It's the worst division in the AFC, Sam. It's the worst division in the AFC.
Yeah, I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing that. Right. I just don't think it's complete bullshit like you're making it out to be. So,
yeah, you got to embellish a little, Sam. Speaking of embellishing, speaking of embellishing, this guy's been embellishing my Packers record and still won't make a bet on it yet, which is also driving me nuts. Give it up for our crappy producer who's muting me all the time on the intro.
Wow.
Other than the buffoon himself, Tanner D.
Nick chose violence today, ladies and gentlemen. He chose it willingly.
Oh, my. What is going on here?
Now you're muting yourself.
Tanner, can I
Tanner,
speak
don't let
up?
him shake you. Don't let him shake you, Tanner.
Leave the betting to me, please, Nick. Leave
Bob
the
and
betting
Weed.
to me.
Bob and Weed.
I will speak for Tanner in terms of betting, please. So
Whoa.
Is Scott your agent? I gotta bet. We gotta bet this game. The Packers wins through Scott.
Here's the thing. This bet's coming, right? This bet's coming. Okay. Yes, Sam, that is music. That is music.
Okay.
Sam on the show, and we just got to jam out. We got to relax, have a little minute. Take a break, Nick. Take a break. By the way,
you're gonna get us kicked off of YouTube.
No, this is YouTube approved music from YouTube itself. So I made sure of that. Okay. This isn't my other one. I won't play right now. Look here. Preseason is awesome. I enjoy it. I go to training camps. Okay. Preseason is good stuff.
Testify.
DeJuan Jones, by the way, I don't know if you've seen. I know you're not watching, Nick, but he is a massive freaking human being. I don't think he probably sits on the practice squad or their depth. But I mean, there's so many penalties in this game. It's so sloppy. It's
exactly. No, it's not. I get from a fan experience. I would go to the game. I get like as a fan going to training camps and like getting signatures and watching it. But I'm not putting it on my TV. I'll rather watch a movie I've seen over 200 times. I'll watch Terminator 2 over watching this stuff.
You got the hammer.
Terminator 2 is the
I
best
got
one.
the electric SWAT net. So every bad take I hear from you, it's bam, and it's gonna be bam again.
Oh my God. What's going on with Nick?
I'm trying to find my hammer. I don't know where
He's
it's
trying
at.
to find it.
I got so much stuff laying around now.
I use all the music. I actually got ours in like a big mix. If you watch my show on After Dark, Fantasy Football After Dark, after the show, you'll hear
here it is.
everybody's music essentially.
Get it. He's got the hammer.
Too full. You do exist still, man. Hey, man, we've been
there it is. Too full.
It's true.
No.
Terminator 2 is great. It's fantastic.
Too full. Real quick. Too full.
Can I just say something? Can I just say something? Tanner's Fantasy Football After Dark is great. Okay, the music's okay. All right, first of all, the YouTube music.
Approved.
Yeah. But if you really want to know, takes and stuff like that in fantasy football, watch Fantasy Football After Dark. I've watched the first 2 episodes. It's really good. And I think I'm going to be on tonight with Tanner.
Yep. So Twofold, just so you know, the buffoons last night were asking me, hey, I haven't seen Twofold in a while. So you have to tune in next Wednesday with the buffoons. So because they are missing you.
We're glad you're around, Twofold. You guys, Sam, you said I chose violence. So speaking of violence, we had a lot of violence on Saturday night. Let's go ahead.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Bring in our guest. It was Spence Crawford Violence down in Salt Lake City. Now the new nickname is called Head Kick City, UFC 273. We missed him on Sunday. Give it up for our guy, host of the Rec Room Sports, host of Hear Me Out, our co-host of Hear Me Out with Tanner. You catch it right here on the LTS Network. None other than Whip, baby.
And we're back.
There's that
telling
boy.
You, okay.
There's that boy.
I missed so much. I missed you guys so much on Sunday. Had a little family emergency, but I got that same energy. Okay, when it's combat hat time. Okay, so I'm ready to talk all about it. What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing?
Things at home.
What up?
Yeah, before we get started, everything good at home? Everything good?
Oh yeah, no, everything's gravy now. Just one of those. Oh snap! Let's just go to the hospital. I don't care what you say.
Baby girl, okay. Was it the baby girl? We just need to know.
Yeah, no, yeah, baby's fine.
Okay, good.
Nice.
She was so upset of her picks on UFC 293 that she threw herself into a tantrum. I get it because she was following her dad's lead, and I tried to tell her exactly to listen to Bodkins instead of Dad.
Yeah, it's the one time I don't listen to Nick, dude. What's
right? You was picking him. You was picking him. You had it. You did. I give you that. Man.
I missed. You had Gaethje, so I'll give you that one. Man, nobody saw that head kick coming. Head Kick City is now Salt Lake City. It's called Head Kick City.
It was 291. In my opinion, that the main card was right up there with the top 5 of this year. I think. Of course. I gotta give a shout out to my guy, man, Derek Lewis, the king, the knockout king.
Oh yeah,
literally, everybody's talking about the BMF belt, and we got Jorge Masvidal in the ring, but the biggest man in the room pulls a flying knee in the very beginning. I thought that was crazy,
Hey,
and it worked.
Wait, what do you think the Mormons thought
awesome.
the next day after this big black man took off his pants, threw his cup out into the crowd, gave everybody the sucker? So you think the Mormons got together the very next day at City Hall and was like, look, UFC did a lot of money. They brought a lot of things into this city, but we can't have that big black motherfucker ever back into this city ever again because we saw some shit we weren't supposed to see.
Listen, man, I got reports from my man Greg Ostertag. Y'all remember Greg Ostertag?
Yeah.
I heard he was out in the streets with Derek Lewis for a little while. You know, the Mormons were around, but they made way when they seen Ostertag and Derek Lewis together. You know, that's a party when you see that type of thing. Okay? Yeah, man. But listen, in my opinion, some of the things that caught me off guard was how big. We saw Pereira fight Izzy, right? And of course, he had to cut crazy weight. But then to see him against Blazkowicz, right? Are they not is he not a monstrous person, period? You know,
he is. I told you that. He's huge. He's the boogeyman.
Literally. And I thought that was a crazy fight. Of course, you called that one.
Who did you have in that fight, though? I thought it was close. I had it scored Pereira just by a smidge. Is that who you had it on your scorecard?
For me, I had Pereira just a little bit over because I thought that time that the time that he spent on the ground, it was in a much more dominant position, and most of the time in terms of the way they do the scoring, that is what put him over the top. Now, in any other case, I would have thought that Blazkowicz's wrestling would have been, more prevalent. But it's obvious that Pereira's just a freak of nature. You know what I'm saying? And even when they were standing up toe to toe, I kept looking like, is he really that big? But truly and honestly, he's a freak of nature. For him to have cut that much weight to fight Izzy 2, 3, 4 times basically. Was crazy, but now I think he's found a home in a division where he's going to be comfortable, and it's going to be hard for Dana White to find somebody unless they're from Dagestan to fight him and go up against them and give him really good competition.
His wrestling defense impressed me, and it looks like we're gonna get him versus Yuri Prohaska. Sign me up. That's gonna be a absolute war. 2 kickboxers that are gonna. There won't be a ground. He won't have to defend the ground game because Yuri's not gonna shoot on him. They're gonna stand and bang later on this year.
Right. And listen, and another thing is, a lot of times we're not paying attention to who's moving up in these divisions based on these other the UFC fight nights. I'm really looking forward to the one that they're probably going to have towards the end of the year because, of course, Gaethje's going to have to fight for that title. And like the BMF belt, I can't lie, it's a what I would like to call a supplemental title. It's cool to have, but you want the main. You want the main belt.
It's like in wrestling, right, where you got the U.S. title or the Intercontinental title. Now Gaethje will probably looks like he'll get hopefully the winner of who is it, Makhachev and Oliveira. Let me ask you this before. What do you make of Conor's statements? That originally Gaethje's like, I'm not fighting him. Then I think somebody whispered into his ear and said, hey, if you fight Conor, you're going to make X amount of dollars. Because then he said, sign the contract. What do you make of Conor's statement in this whole Michael Chandler situation?
The crazy part is right now, of course, with the mix-up with the Chandler and Conor fight possibly not being on due to speculations and other things behind the scenes. Like, Conor knows you got to strike while the iron's hot. He's on TV every Tuesday. He looks huge. I don't know if you guys watch The Ultimate Fighter on Tuesday nights, but I think really, if you look at what they did, I just watched it the other day. Conor got his personal chef on there, and they were drinking Irish stew. Who puts pounds of grade A beef in a pot with like 40 loggers. Who does that? Irish people. That's who does. And potatoes. And if you eat like that on a regular, I mean, you're going to be a massive person. And for me, right now,
he's eating something else. He's eating something else.
I mean, I thought he was doing a little fun stuff on the, these last.
He's doing that too. He's doing that.
These last couple quarters, I see kind of he's a little, where's he going at, Mike? He's wilding out. But shout out to Conor McGregor. I think he's realizing, look, if I'm not going to fight one guy, I'm definitely going to fight another. Period. It's time. And then for me, of course, I want to give a big shout out to Dustin Poirier. Like, Poirier literally went in there. In my opinion, you can't really call it a bad loss. It was a head kick, an unseen head kick. But every moment before then, they were neck and neck. They were literally right there, and it was leading towards one of those. Oh, this is going to go all 5 rounds. They're going to stand up and punch all day. You know what I'm saying? Something that we look forward to as UFC fans is, something like the old school slobber knockers. You know what I mean? Where okay, I understand, jiu-jitsu and wrestling is important, but I don't want to see like 2 guys rolling around on the ground for 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to see that.
Exactly.
But it was starting to look like very, very similar to Poirier Gaethje 1 before Gaethje came out and said, you know what, I'm just going to end it and hit him with the head kick, man. But I thought 291 was great from top to bottom. Once again, and Bikins, man, I got to talk to you, bro. They got that thing they keep on putting up on the screen where they go and make some UFC matches. I think we need to do that.
I did it. I sent in my sweepstakes. I've done it. I sent in my sweepstakes already.
I'm gonna talk to Tanner. We're gonna do a side quest. It's gonna be our side quest. We're gonna do a LTS side quest and just do it on the Let's Talk Sports show. See if we can get that done one day.
Hey, no doubt. Hey, I know you watched Spence Crawford. I didn't. I admit, like I went back and watched a little bit. Crawford just pieced him up outside of the first round. Spence, do you think those car accidents it just slowed him down and he's just not the same guy anymore?
All right, we gotta put on the boxing manager hat, okay? A lot of times, people talk about ring walks, and how you come to the ring. It speaks towards how you're gonna fight. I don't know when the last time I've actually seen Eminem anywhere doing anything, but it
was over after that. It was over.
After I see Eminem rapping, I'm like, yeah, okay. Knees weak, arms are heady, mom's spaghetti. He's nervous. I was
like, he works hard, but it keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd rose so loud. He opened his mouth, but the words won't come out.
But the words won't come out. He's
choked up. Choked up over there.
And it touched the vein. It touched the vein in my heart. Like I was like, yeah, he's not expecting this at all. If you notice what was going on was
Spence was like, oh shit, this motherfucker really did get Eminem to come out with him.
Yeah, you better lose yourself. Okay, like the whole point was prior to the match in the pre-fight interviews and everything, he was going, yeah, I'm the big shark, I'm the big fish, blah blah blah. Crawford came out with a shark net on his shoulder. Okay. And once I saw that, I was like, yeah, he probably switched up everything. He was like, let me get a new outfit. I'm not even gonna wear this crap. I'm just gonna put on black. I'm gonna whip his ass. But back to the point, man. One thing, post fight that I realized, and several fighters mentioned it, and I had to kind of do some more research on it. Oscar De La Hoya, one of the top 20 boxers ever to touch the ring, said it first. He said, "Look, we don't know what necessarily happened in that car accident because they covered a lot of it up in the state of Texas. Errol Spence is really like, a lost son or earned son or whatever you want to call him, and they love him out there. There were so many Houston rappers, necessarily Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones. When the last time you see Jerry Jones leave Jerry Land? You know what I'm saying? Because he's so worried about he's so worried about training camp. You know what I mean? It threw me because I feel like, it's not like they know they are confident in that he was going to win, but it's also like, man, I'm worried about him. I got to be here if it happens, if it's bad. And another guy I got a lot of respect for, Roy Jones, said, man, think about it. He was thrown out of the vehicle doing 108 miles per hour. I don't care who you are, you're different. And like right there in that second round, and of course, if you go look at the the replays of everything, of course, everybody knows that Errol Spence literally he had the car accident and went out that next day, but his face was like different. He didn't have his front teeth. His jaw was technically wired. Like the cosmetic damage that it did to him, I think was evident because, of course, everybody knows Errol Spence is black. His face was red from
bro.
round 2 to 9. I've never seen nobody's face that red so early. And I think that had to do with a lot of the reconstructive surgery that he's had. But remember, he fought Garcia after the car accident. I think, and the point is, Garcia is not a head puncher. Garcia is a body puncher. He gets in close. He does a lot of work. He doesn't really land. Garcia is not known for knockout artists, as in to land for the head. But Crawford, being the technician that he is, he switched stances at least 3 times in the fight, depending on what Errol Spence was trying to do, and he caught him. And I'm saying, when he caught him, it was as if he didn't see it coming. And then in relationship to that, you had to go, well, do you know that Errol Spence had a detached retina due to the car accident? And when you got a detached retina, it only takes a little bit of a jogging in your head for it to go blank. And I feel like, if you watch it, after that first knockdown, Errol Spence was getting up, and all respect to him, because I'm sure he had to be in unsurmountable amount of pain, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, he got up and charged and got dead close to him, close enough where you could basically see that his head was on his shoulder, and was trying to swing for his life, and it wasn't happening. This is one of those examples where, in boxing, you got to give him props. He's been fighting in different weight classes. He's gone from light welterweight, junior welterweight to welterweight. In the 4-belt era, there's only a few people that you can kind of put up there. And we're talking Hagler, we're talking Hearns, we're talking Ray Leonard. Like, that's majestic in itself. So right now, man, if you're talking pound for pound in boxing, you got to talk about Bud Crawford, man. I mean, there are other guys, of course. Tank is a little lower. You know what I mean? Tank could put on 10 pounds, but I don't think Tank is seeing that hand speed and that definition of what you would think a real pugilist is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see you do a 1-2-1. Now, as soon as you put that 2 out, I'm gonna do 3 and smack you. And that's literally what happened on several occasions. And I think, it's unfortunate that Errol Spence had to take a loss like that. But, for what it's worth, it's proven that Bud Crawford is that guy. Next fight we got coming up that's really big, and I'll be happy to talk about that with you guys. We got Jermell Charlo fighting one of the other undisputed champs in his weight class. Definitely got to talk about Canelo Alvarez. And Jermell Charlo was right there on the side.
Yes. Bud was calling him out too. Bud was calling him out.
Crawford, if y'all notice, Bud Crawford stopped and grabbed his and said, "Hey, you next." Right. Okay. But who's to say Jermell Charlo beats Canelo Alvarez? Alvarez ain't no joke.
Wait, so on the comment here, Bobby G says, "Man, F that man had 22 rounds since that accident, not counting his fight, plus 100+ hours of sparring. He got mopped by a better fight period."
Hey,
I agree. I agree with that.
I am not in disagreement with Bobby G, but the competition level in boxing, the gap between who he fought prior to and who he fought in that ring that night that's a big gap. And that's because I watch a lot of boxing. It's a huge gap between those rounds, and he's completely right. I'm not making excuses for Errol Spence, but at the same time, there's another level of skilled fighter, and Bud Crawford pretty much showed that he's there, and Errol Spence is not.
I'm gonna give Errol Spence his props though, like you said. I mean, he kept going, because if his body was really that messed up from the car accident, then his trainers and stuff, they did him a disservice, because they could have stopped that fight 2-3 rounds earlier. Yes, I mean, that's how bad of an ass whipping he was getting. I mean, this kid was just connecting with everything. So I don't know if it was the fact that he was hurt was what was affecting his ability to fight back, but he he hardly fought back. So it was a dominating performance. You mentioned Tank Davis, gaining some weight. I guess he made a comment about that he would fight him at 147. Right. So that, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see if that happens. That would be an interesting fight there. But that was a display by Crawford. Like, Crawford could have ended that fight earlier. And I think he just wanted to keep, you know what I'm saying? He kind of wanted to teach homeboy a lesson. It was just like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you for another 2-3 rounds just because I can.
Listen, and I saw a lot of post-fight analysts, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the fighters that were there, I was up for about 2 hours just watching people's Instagram
reactions, dude. That's
and everybody was saying, if you were there, you could tell that he was holding out on, like, completely blacking out on him. Everybody said that he was still tagging him really good, but you could tell he was holding off on just taking him completely off the map. A lot of respect goes out to both fighters, because one thing that they didn't show that I saw later was, Bud, of course, Errol Spence's father is in his corner. You know what I'm saying? And he went and talked to his father and said, "Look, man, your son is great. Like, I wouldn't have been able to even have this without him. We could have did this 2 years ago." You know what I'm saying? And in reality, when Bud was somewhat of a undercard fighter and they weren't giving him enough props, that's when this fight should have happened. Before they had the car accident, before he fought.
And we talked about that. We talked about that on Thursday, the last week. Let me ask you: is it going to be Crawford now versus that? I don't know his name. He's Asian, the Asian kid who just.
It's a lot of weight between the two.
Yeah,
it's gonna.
Is it okay? I don't know what weight class he was in.
He's a featherweight, I believe, right?
It's like it's a flyweight. It's a junior welter and a welter. In that sense, it's like a 17-pound weight gap. But of course, the Asian kid probably walks around at like 125.
I was about to say it probably won't be long though.
Yeah, it won't be long. It's just
a couple years.
It's the thing that they let's say Errol Spence and Bud Crawford without a weight cut, we talking 165, 170. But they fought at 147. So it's really dependent on who's gonna step up to fight him. And if they meet, maybe it's a possibility they fight for no belts, because the rematch clause that Errol Spence has, they're going to fight at either between 154 and 147. So it's a huge, but everybody's saying, everybody. When I say everybody, I mean everybody saying
everybody's
no need for a rematch,
right?
It's
like I'm worried for homeboy's health.
Go ahead, Tim.
Seriously, and psychologically. Like, when he watches that tape, man, that's gonna be rough, man, for him to deal with.
So wait, I know you told me there's like 900 different weights and classes and all this stuff, but like it's like Crawford, like he can bounce from like welterweight to some other weight, like within.
That's exactly correct, because right now, like, once again in the 4-belt era, Crawford already has 4 belts on the weight class below. He already got those 4. He went up one and got 4 belts. You see what I'm saying? So his speech was, prior to the fight, he's never gotten a belt that was vacant. He always he always took a belt from somebody else. Right. Always. So that's a big deal in terms of boxing. Manny Pacquiao went like 8 weight classes. You could kind of say the same thing about Roy Jones. Roy Jones was dang near fighting at heavyweight at one point in time before he lost. So it's a money thing. You know what I'm saying? If you are worth the money, I will put on or cut the weight. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what it really is right now.
Roy Jones was a bad boy, bro.
Let me ask you about this weekend. How interested are you into this Logan Paul versus Nate Diaz?
Hey, man, listen, I can't lie to you. In terms of spectacle, I love when the Paul brothers put on a spectacle. It's some of the best stars come out. They got some of the nicest arenas. Shout out to the people that run the zone that oftentimes promote their fights and stuff like that. But when it comes towards actually fighting Logan Paul and Jake Paul, I don't discredit them at all. And shout out to them being able to switch up genres, going from WWE to actually boxing. Like, I don't discredit the fact that they're athletes, but I don't know if they're ready. If this one right here is for him, you know what I'm saying? Because Nate Diaz is a fool. Okay, I don't care pick any Diaz brother. Okay, pick Mama Diaz. She's a fool too. I bet she get in there and knock somebody out. Okay, and Bikens probably knows about this because of course we talk a lot of MMA. You know what I mean? I want to see it because once again either Jake Paul, Logan Paul, we are going to watch it just to see if he finally gets knocked out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's not necessarily that you want to see him, the downfall of him, but they talk a lot of junk and they put up a lot of money. And when I say they put up a lot of money, Jake Paul got beat by an actual boxer, correct?
Yes.
But did he get knocked out? Nah, he didn't get knocked out. We want to see him get knocked out for that fall of junk talk. But hey, it is.
I think if the longer it goes. The longer it goes, give me Nate Diaz. We know Nate Diaz has got the gas tank to go miles. This is a guy, him and his brother swam across. They swam to, what's that prison? Alcatraz. They would swim into the ocean from California across the ocean, sharks and everything, out to Alcatraz, him and his brother Nick. These are two real gangster dudes. Nate is an absolute gangster. And you could tell in the presser, he gives zero Fs about any of this presser stuff. I give Jake Paul his due. But when you got money like he does, he can fight. That's all you got. You got millions of dollars. You're going to spend the money, the time to, to train and things like that. But Nate Diaz is no joke himself. I hope Nate wins. I think Jake probably wins just because he seems so much bigger than Nate. But I'm rooting for Nate Diaz.
Hey, listen, I'm in the same vein right here. Shout out to Ed from Columbus with the mention just now.
What's up, Ed?
Exactly. Diaz starts bleeding after one jab.
We gotta say here, it ain't a Diaz fight until Diaz starts bleeding. That's the saying. It ain't a Diaz fight until Diaz starts bleeding.
And every time it happens, that powers him up. He starts punching himself in the face, gesturing to come on. Like that's a classic Nate Diaz tactic. And if you fall into it, when you're swinging for the fences, he's liable to catch you. And I'm interested to see. I'm not going to do like I did and have the two TVs and all of that. I'm just probably going to watch it on the laptop or something. But I'm interested in seeing how it turns out for real.
Hey, we appreciate you always coming on talking fight game. Yeah. Boys, you got any other questions for the legendary man Witt?
Well, I got a question about is it Naoya Inoue, the Asian fighter? Yeah,
right.
All right. So who you see him fighting next? Because he beat the hell out of that Stephen Fulton, bro.
The thing is,
knocked his ass out,
dude. The thing is with Naoya, or however you say it, he's got an Asian promotion behind him. So once again, this in boxing means that they have to meet in the middle. Now he will probably fight an Asian fighter before he comes back to the U.S. to have another big fight, big money fight. So in between then and there, I'm not sure because normally it's June, July. So let's say he doesn't touch the ring until November. By November, it could be a number of guys, especially in that division because that flyweight, that's one of those divisions where look here, man, I could freaking go on a smoothie diet and fight in that division right now if I want to. You know what I mean? So we really gotta wait and see. But I don't get me wrong. I watched that fight. You can tell that he's skilled in not only just the foot movement, but the hand speed is there. Yeah. The power is there. Mm-hmm. But he's young. You can tell he's young. He was swinging out. You know what I'm saying? You can kind of tell from other seasoned fighters that look. I'm gonna wait till about around 4, 5, 6 before I try and knock you out. He was trying to go for it in round 1 and 2. Right. But I like that though. I like that. Right. Hey, do what you do, get money. But really, we have to wait until maybe let's say maybe after the fall starts in August to see who happens to fight. And I'm pretty sure he's going to fight somebody in Japan because that's their local thing.
I'm looking forward to seeing him fight, bro. He's got a lot of.
Amanda Serrano is a
and like you said, he's still young too, man. So he's only going to get better.
And I see the Serrano comment. Don't forget about Ashley Bumgardner. Okay, don't forget. Remember that name, guys. Bumgardner.
Katie Taylor. Let's get her.
is out there. Okay. Oh yeah, right. Tyson Fury. Hey, listen, and that's another big one in October, guys. Let's not forget Fury and Ngannou. Okay, and let's not sleep on Fury and Ngannou. Of course, we'll get to that.
We're gonna have to talk. We're gonna have to talk about that one, man.
Right. I think that'll be a good one out there in Saudi Arabia. You know what I'm talking about? I want to get my plane ticket and my my hat and everything together.
Bro, that's all you, bro. I ain't going over there. I'm good.
Hey man, listen, you ever seen that plane they fly on?
I'm keeping my ass right here, and I'll watch it on the Fire Stick, bro, in the comfort of my own free country in my house right here. I ain't trying to go over there and I can't get back home.
We gotta get you a linen suit, man. We gotta get you a linen suit. The way your toes out, me and Botkins will fit right over there.
Get you a pair of Jerusalem Cruisers, Johnny. You look good in them.
Right.
I'm sure.
Mike Tyson is training Francis a little bit. They had a sparring session. Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. We need to do that one again with that. They need to run that one back. That was a hell of a fight a couple years ago that they had. Serrano and Katie Taylor. It was great.
Where are they fighting?
Well, Serrano's now going to PFL.
Yeah. She's out, but PF and unless one of these days, because we're gonna switch it up, we got to talk about a little bit about PFL. They are getting some really quality fighters, and I can't lie, I kind of like that tournament style.
I do too.
$50,000, you got to fight everybody type thing. I kind of like that myself, but I got to do a little bit more research and make sure I grasp a little bit more on those fighters. But we got to talk a little PFL too. So shouts out to them as well.
Nice.
Hey, Whit, tell everybody where we can catch you at the rest of the week.
Listen, man, you know what? We just shot another episode of Hear Me Out. Shout out to my man Tanner, the hardest working man on LTS. He told us he did like 81 shows in 3 days. I believe him. So I know we're somewhere on that list. And look, man, the numbers are going up. I really appreciate everybody sharing and liking. It's really dope. And the next thing that I think we're going to do after we get maybe one more in, where we get the format solidified, we're going to bring you guys in. We're going to have tag team partners. We're going to let you guys go at it once or twice. I got to get everybody. I got to get Kobe in there, man. My man Kobe. We got to talk some betting. We got to get those numbers in there, man. I'm
more than welcome to. Anytime you guys need me to come on to talk betting, I'm there for you. So
listen, man. I put some.
When you book Scott, you just got your books. Yeah, you gotta book it in between when they play in Bucher and when they're playing other games at the nursing home when bingo is going on. So you just gotta schedule it in.
It's shuffleboard and bocce ball.
Shuffleboard, yeah. I was about to say
shuffleboard. Oh, my bad. I forgot you're East Coast guy. East Coast guy.
He
sent us the schedule.
Shuffleboard and bocce, baby. Shuffleboard and bocce.
Hey, we always love you having on, brother. Hey, I'll be hitting you up in the DMs. We'll be talking fights like always. I like this Saturday.
Hey, listen, I'm with it. We got the same mindset for Saturday. I'm thinking. We go ahead and put Jake out. There on points, man. Tanner. I don't think Diaz is gonna knock him out, but I think Jake will win on points.
All right, I appreciate it, Whit. Give it up for the lovely Whit, baby.
Yeah.
Take it easy, guys.
Your hat rocks, Whit.
Be safe, bro.
I have a request. I'd like to be the president of the Ed in Columbus fan club, if that's possible, please.
Yeah. Seconded. I want to be vice president.
And
we'll get it.
Before we get into our next guest, Johnny, why don't you get us that ad read in?
All right. I'm going to pull this one out here. All right. I got to let you know about the people from Underdog. The Underdog. You can download the Underdog app on any mobile device you got, your phone, your tablet, your computer, or you can go to underdog.com. Make sure you use the promo code LTS, and they will match you up to $100. They have the best ball drafts of all sports, and of course, daily fantasy drafts. Definitely check them out, and definitely use the promo code LTS. Again, that's Underdog. You can download the app, or you can go to underdog.com, use the promo code LTS, and they will match you up to $100 deposit.
Good job.
That's beautiful.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got breaking news here per Ian Rappaport here. The Bears have signed former Colts star pass rusher Yannick Ngakwe to a 1 year.
Yannick. Is it Yannick?
Yannick Ngakwe.
Yeah, it's Yannick Ngakwe.
$10.5 million deal. So that gives a little bit more boost to that Bears defense as they try to reload. So just want to throw that out.
Sure does.
Are you guys surprised? Like a real contender? I know the Bears are kind of. Some people think they can win the division, even on this show. But and that shows how much coke they're doing. So
he's too calm for coke. It's got to be shrooms.
That is true. That's true. But you guys surprised he didn't sign with like a real contender, somebody that could have used him, like i.e. the Bills, the Jets, or somebody like that.
I kind of thought he'd go to the Bills personally. That was kind of what I thought he was heading after. What's his name? Von Miller and stuff in the injury history. I thought he'd probably go up there and get a opportunity.
I figured this is kind of probably what he was looking for, though. Some at 10 plus, in the way. 1 year, he wasn't looking probably to stay around for anywhere. So, I'm cool with it. I think the Bears is a pretty good move there. I think he was going for somebody that was more maybe hopeful of being good this year than maybe somebody that's established, right? Because he's probably not going to get 10.5 at the Bills, at the Dolphins, at the Jets, at the Chiefs, right? In that range.
I think that's a good move for the Bears.
Tanner, what's going on? Speaking of the Chiefs, what's going on? What's going on with Frank Clark there? He's still no deal here, and we're already almost
Frank
a preseason game one.
He's
this is why these
dude.
games.
Yeah,
not Frank Clark, but
Jones.
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 Yeah, it's an interesting thing popped up today for Mr. Chris Jones. See if I can find it real quick. Essentially, he had a little cryptic Instagram post today that was stating it was a lyric from Walls Talking by Kevin Gates, and he highlighted this and posted it on his deal. Guess all good things must come to an end. Don't know. He's still under contract this year, so I think he'll play unless we decide to trade him. But we could be very far apart. I'm still not concerned right now, despite the crypticness, because we saw exactly with the there's another signee, Lamar Jackson deal this year. It was kind of cryptic as well. So look, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about this Chris Jones stuff yet. Let me hear more of what's when we get closer. Like, give me something of worth $30 million apart, because that's going to tell me a lot, right? Not a bunch of lyrics and players and their feelings right now. So
isn't that how the world works though?
Oh yeah, that's how the NFL works, man.
Like you unfollow everything on your the team, you crypt, yes, and then you post some cryptic thing. Sam, you had something to say?
Yeah, no, I just thought it'd be really funny if the lyrics didn't make sense. He's like, the great Kevin Gates once said, "I have two phones, one for the bitches and one for the dogs." And we're like, okay, cool. But I agree with you about the whole social media swabbing thing. Jeffrey Simmons did it during contract discussion. And then they come in and they're like, of course the deal was going to get done. And they were so confident and blah, blah, blah. And somebody said, why'd you scrub all the social media? And he goes, oh, I just didn't want to be tagged in anything. Come on, bro. Stop.
Yeah. That's how it all is they erase everything from their Twitter or that team and
make the fans go in a tizzy. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. He unfollowed the who gives a shit?
Worried about this. Patrick Mahomes, they're still talking. I mean, Patrick Mahomes goes over there. He doesn't talk about his contract situation. He says he goes over it, see how he's doing.
My contract.
Football. I think as long as Patrick Mahomes is invited to talk to Chris Jones is allowing him to talk, I don't think they're really that far apart, but he's going to post stuff to try to get his leverage. That's just what players do. Rumor has it the annoying bitch Jackson. I don't blame him.
I believe that.
He's not dead to jail.
To credit Jackson, I guess he toned it down last year. The year before, it was real loud for old Jackson Mahomes.
Yeah, but he paid the price from his previous year antics. And now his that all came into light this last offseason. So
I was surprised he wasn't more featured on the quarterback show on Netflix. I was a little surprised we didn't get more of old Jackson there. Any word on the Just Fans guys?
Give them up. They're finishing up a show here. So they're Rios and Carlos got I don't know what the name was, a really big name in media, in Texas media down there last minute. So Rios will be joining us shortly here.
Yeah, he bigwigged
More a
us.
very large hat. I'll tell you
just
that.
kind of wrapping up here.
They bigwigged us, yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. I mean, Rios.
It's all
like,
good. Hey, props to them, man. They gotta do what they gotta do.
Hey, I was pumped.
No hate here, man.
I was like, hell yeah, dude. You go get some stuff right there.
Absolutely.
I think it's because of his legal issues. They cut parts out. Oh, that could be it too. You know, he can't speak to anybody.
Maybe. I don't think anybody really liked Phil Jackson. That's the problem. So, I mean.
Right. I mean.
No, the guy's a raging dick. I mean, what are we missing here? You know? The guy's a shithead. That's what he is. He's a shithead.
He's legit.
Into that.
You're on the team.
Yeah.
And he's your, what do you want to call it? Drama queen at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
He ain't even on the team. He's the little brother of. Yeah. Nobody would even know who he was if his brother wasn't Patrick Mahomes.
Him and his wife they're just sucky people. They suck. Like that's all it is. And then like they have the audacity to get on media like we have been bullied and whatever. You can go.
Oh yeah, right.
You gotta shut the fuck up.
Don't tell me that.
Yeah.
Tell us how you really feel, Sam.
Oh, he said she sprayed champagne in like cold weather all over Chiefs fans underneath, and they complained. And she goes, quite kindly, go fuck yourself. Like, what are you? Who is this woman? Like, who do you think you are? Oh, I miss Mahomes. I don't give a shit. What you are?
Hey, she's set for life, is what she is. That's
all she cares.
She's set for life.
They got a new house, by the way, out here. And
how many toilets does it have in it?
I'm sure it has 30 because he has home pool. He has his own lake pond, right? He has his own little mini golf course. He has a football field. And I want to say there was something else in his on his land. I mean, this guy, like he said in his message, on his media stuff, he goes, "Well, I'm not looking to break the market here. Pay me, pay me some, a decent, what should be towards the top of the money, and pay me for 10 years, and then you're looking like you are today." So he is a pretty good basketball player. Too bad his contract. They told him that he was not allowed after his rookie year that playing basketball. So
who? Jackson Mahomes?
No, Patrick.
Oh, okay.
Patrick can play ball, but they the contract after his rookie year, it was like some kind of line deal, or they added in.
Yeah.
Because they were like, "Nah, we're not gonna have you get hurt here."
That's always in a lot of contracts like that. Hey, you can't go do this. Who was that pitcher a couple years ago? Remember Mad Bum? Mad Bum was riding his dirt bike and broke his arm.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he? And then this year we had a guy run into Naheem Hines who was just sitting there.
Yeah, he was just sitting there. Yeah,
he probably can. When he wants to. But yeah, Naheem Hines was just sitting there, and the guy runs into him. Like I hope he's putting some kind of like lawsuit or making the guy insurance or something, right? Because you would think that's what's going to change right there.
I always thought he was undervalued, but he did some really good things for the Colts when he played there.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking the Bills are going to put him on that PUP list, and maybe they don't have to pay him on the street. So
Kansas, not Missouri.
Usually it's the other way around. You say it's Missouri, not Kansas. So
let me ask you guys this: I don't know if you guys caught a little bit. I've read a little bit just here and there about this University of Iowa and Iowa State gambling incident where multiple kids from multiple sports were using their parents and parents' thing and gambling on their games.
A Bronco. He bet his games at Iowa State, and then he turned around and bet his games on the Denver Broncos last year. It's like, wait a minute. You took this on. I mean, obviously it takes a little bit to probably figure it out, but this one apparently took a while. But he bet both his college and his NFL games through his mom.
Wow. It's insane.
What are you doing? I want to know how he got caught, mainly. I don't know if maybe they looked at her income or what it was, but I mean, I want to know if he did it on the premises, because that's what I'm curious about.
Scott, you're Mr. Yeah. Scott, you're Mr. Gambler. What do you make of that? Like, how do you think they got caught, and what should the NCAA do?
Well, we've talked about before how these books have trackers, and when you see a strange bet come along, when somebody bets $10, then all of a sudden they bet $500, and then they bet $1,000. Books start saying, what the heck is going on here? Why all of a sudden are they betting more money? And they probably looked into it, and they probably found out that these kids were giving their mom money to bet, or their mom was whatever is the case, and they put two and two together, and they said, oh, wait a minute, his mom has the same last name as this quarterback or this player on this team. And they reported it, and they did some investigation, and sure enough, they found out it was the kid that was betting on the games. How stupid can you be?
Unreal.
How stupid can you be?
Unreal.
You just ruined your career, basically.
One of them was I know the Iowa point. He was an Iowa point guard. He got caught. He has transferred to Nebraska, and then the walk-on kicker at Iowa as well. He got caught as well. This Iowa State quarterback.
Right?
I don't think they did say. Yeah. They did say none of them actually affected the games, but still they were out there betting the overs, the unders. This could lead to a problem with gambling and the NIL right now. They're trying to reel a lot of this in here in college football.
To me, it's just a drop of the bucket, right? There's going to be more. There's going to be more in other colleges. Yeah, it's going to get bad.
There is so many ways of betting right now. You could bet on your app on your phone. You could send somebody to a sports book. You can go to a casino. Anything
God
you
bless
want
Ed in Columbus,
to get. I know that.
God bless that man.
To get a bet in, that I don't know how you're going to be able to control this and stop this. If a parent goes in and bets an inordinate amount of money on the app, and they're gonna get found out. I mean, this is as Sam said, this is the tip of the iceberg. There's gonna be plenty more of this stuff come out, plenty more. So,
by the way, Sam, did you hear about the today's stuff on the Titans training camp?
Yes, that guy. Let me tell you about this. Let me talk to you. All right, so this guy comes in and starts a fight with Jeffrey frickin' Simmons, 320-pound Jeffrey Simmons. And they both get in trouble by Vrabel, and they're in the sand pit the rest of the day, which is I like to prefer to it as Thunderdome, only it's not as cool. And they have to work out really hard in sand. So the next day comes, and he tries to take out one of the starting linebackers or maybe second stringer's legs, from behind. Tries to tackle him, dirty tackle from behind. He's an offensive lineman. And so if you needed any indication that Vrabel was in charge, that guy was gone within the hour. Just had him out. He was done.
It was the brawls that happened, or the fights, the potential brawl, and then he was tossed, and then you saw a cut right next to it. So
Vrabel was I had heard there was a lot of get the F in the building and clean out your locker being yelled across the field and everything. He was done. He was done with him. But it's one thing if you're going to get testosterone on the field, defensive lineman, O lineman, you're slamming against each other all day. That would happen. But to try to dirty tackle somebody and try to ruin their career or take out their legs, there's no place for it. Not in training camp, not in the game.
Fights happen. Right. Brawls, little skirmishes.
Dust ups,
But doing that, intentionally trying to hurt somebody, and I mean, that's nowhere needed in a team atmosphere, anyways.
Yes. So I'm actually, it might be one of these kind of blessing in disguise thing, because I think they should have been looking for more offensive line depth anyway, and now they need to, they have to.
Yeah.
So. That, so I feel like you can't have too many veterans when it comes to one of the worst O-lines in franchise history last year. So maybe a blessing in disguise, but really, really crappy for that guy to try to take out his legs from it. I mean, come on, man, get your shit together.
Horrendous.
Yeah, that's not going to make you a lot of friends. I'll tell you that.
Nah, that's just dirty, bro.
It is.
It's sad.
It is sad because he was getting some starting reps at right tackle his whole career ahead of him. Nothing. Threw it away.
All right, super producer, are you gonna make the executive decision first? Let's get the Jags out the way while we're waiting for the drunken sailors.
Well, we usually go bottom.
He called them drunken sailors.
We usually go bottom to top here. If you guys want to
start from the top.
Yeah, but
Okay,
we'll
way
start
down.
from the top
All right,
because
all right,
Rios
we'll
is
start-
coming
And they
back.
can finish it
We'll go
off.
top
You know
to-
what I'm saying?
By the way,
Yeah.
let's do.
All right, let's go top to bottom here.
Can we get
go ahead.
predictions at the end? Like
Yeah,
don't say if you think they're going to win right when you're
Yeah.
talking about that team.
Yeah, just wait till the end.
I want to hear
Guys,
your
do the whole
rankings at
division.
the very end.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's me.
Okay. All right. So we got the Jaguars. They're the defending champs of this division.
Wow.
They went 9-8 last year.
Jaguars.
They bring it in Dearness Johnson. They did bring in Calvin Ridley, which they made for a trade in the middle of the season last year, but he's after a suspension. He gets to play his full year. They didn't really lose anybody in the offseason. Marvin Jones Jr. is now back in Detroit. They did their draft. They got a tackle to protect Trevor Lawrence, Anton Harrison out of Oklahoma. They brought in another tight end to go with Ingram that they just re-signed as well. Brenton Strange brought in Tank Bigsby to back up ETN. Ventrell Miller in the 4th round. They got some. This is a team that's got some pieces here. Bringing in, Ridley, we get to see him. We get to see Kirk, Ingram. That offense with Peterson is ready to go. I really like this team. Sam, this is your division. We'll kind of start with you, I guess. Are we going to wait till all the way to the end, or what here, Tanner?
Predictions of your rankings 1, 2, 3, 4 at the very end. So don't spoil.
Just give your opinion on what they did well and what they, what they didn't.
Okay, I won't talk out of turn.
You want the record?
No,
you want the record?
Nothing.
Till
the end.
All right.
Record,
all right.
ranking, very end.
All right, cool. Take 2.
Go ahead.
Anyway.
Go ahead. Sam, what's your thoughts here? This is your daddies of the division right now. They rebuilt quickly.
It's been fun sweeping them for years and years and years, but that all good things must come to an end. But yeah, Scott, you keep going it now. I'm like, I see you eyeing my Jaguar. Anyway, so I said as soon as they hired Doug Peterson, like, well, crap, they did it. They got the coach, and I figured it was kind of a matter of time. And we've been all fans of the NFL for so long. We know how quickly it can switch on you just like that if you're missing a piece or something. And I remember somebody going, Trevor Lawrence isn't going to be anything, blah, blah, blah. And when down deep in your soul that they can be heading the division and driving the car like the entire time. And so here they are. And I feel like, they're going to be the favorites to win the division, and rightly so. I think the offense is good. Are we going to do, Tanner? Are we going to do they don't win the division if and all that? Or
yeah. Well, we
okay.
can
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, they won't win the division if there's
yeah.
Oh, okay, all right, cool. Whatever. All right, they won't win the division if their secondary is not improved. There were a lot of these, like right behind the linebacker, intermediate route that got open a lot. Even Josh Dobbs got some passes through. So they need to step up. They don't. They do win the division if Trevor Lawrence takes another step. That's how I see it. He's got to do better at his decision making, and just overall sometimes his scrambles get him fumbled and all that stuff.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go next if that's cool. I'm gonna piggyback a little bit on what Sam was saying there, as far as.
Hey, I run the show, Johnny. I say who goes next around here. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Tanner sent me the
careful. Careful. He's really crabby today. Just be careful. Tread lightly.
No, Go
ahead.
Trevor Lawrence taking the next step, but I like what this team did. I like Tank Bigsby being down here in Tampa and Florida. I got no choice but to watch SEC. I think he's going to be a good complement to ETN. You got him some protection with an offensive lineman. You got him another tight end. They brought back Gardner Minshew, so you got a good backup. I'm with Sam as well. I mentioned it when it happened.
Hold on, Johnny. Gardner Minshew's in Indianapolis.
Yeah, he's a Colt. Yeah, he's a Colt.
Buddy. My bad. I had it written on the wrong spot.
He looks like Florida, man, so I get it.
Apologies on that. But they went offense in the draft, and they went, you know what I'm saying, some more defense. They got 2 defensive linemen in free agency and a running back as well from the Browns. But I like the running back. I like the offensive pieces they got in the draft for Trevor Lawrence. Ever since they got Doug Peterson, I agree with Sam on that. I said it. That's exactly what he needed, especially after that piece of that scrub that we were talking about earlier, Urban Meyer. Doug Peterson is a good coach. He's going to make this kid better. So if he takes that next step and they can protect him, so I'm going more offensive line than Trevor Lawrence because I think he is going to take that next step. But if that offensive line can protect him and they can actually run the ball and have a good balance there, I think that wins them the division. I'm with Sam as far as the defensive side of the ball, but I'm more they got to put some pressure on opposing quarterbacks.
Yeah,
or they have a good chance to win the division because the division sucks anyway. But if they want to get into the playoffs and actually do more than just that miraculous comeback against Justin Herbert, that defensive line has to be able to put pressure against opposing quarterbacks. So, but I like Jacksonville's chances. I like what they did in this draft, and I love their coach.
So they win the division if
the offensive line keeps him upright and actually opens up some holes for ETN and for Tank to run the ball. And I think Jacksonville could run away with the division, especially depending on how big of a jump Trevor Lawrence takes. If they can't put
they don't win the division
rush, if they can't defend the line of scrimmage. I know Sam mentioned the back end, but if they got some good young players on that defensive side of the ball in that front seven, but if they can't stop the run and they can't put a little bit of pressure on opposing quarterbacks, they could be in danger of possibly losing the division. As insane as that sounds, because they could win that shit by default because the rest of the division is so crappy, but. If they can't stop the run, they might be in trouble.
Hey Nick, that was good segue there. If he elongates his ifs, you know.
Hey Scott, go ahead. What's your thoughts here on
Jaguars? Whitfield Westcott, thank you for letting me know, man. Appreciate that.
So everybody was like, well, what are they trading for Ridley for midway through the season last year? And this is the reason why. Yep. He reports out of camp as he's been the alpha receiver for the Jaguars. He's been everything that they've wanted in the number 1 wide receiver. Christian Kirk was back to his number 2 role, which he's very comfortable with. He was that way in Arizona. So he's very comfortable, and he'll get targeted a lot again this year. Trevor Lawrence in the second half of that playoff game against the Chargers took a major step forward for the Jaguars, where he threw all those interceptions in the first half and then turned it around in the second half. So he came of age in that one half of playoff game, and he played decently against the Chiefs in that second playoff game. So to me, the Jaguars have everything that they need. The only question mark with them is defense. If they can be a middle of the pack defense in the NFL and rank somewhere around 14 or 15, they're going to win this division by at least 2 games. They have everything. I mean, the Urban Meyer hiring was the worst hiring I've ever seen in the NFL. And then they turned it around and hired one of the best guys they possibly could hire in Doug Peterson. And he has assimilated his offense to fit the pieces in Jacksonville. So to me, Jacksonville is the up-and-coming team in the AFC. I'm not saying they're going to win the AFC. I'm not saying they're going to beat the Chiefs. I'm not saying they can beat the Bengals. What I am saying is to beat the Chiefs, a lot of teams stack up their defense. Jacksonville has done the opposite. They've stacked up their offense to try to beat the Chiefs. And that's the way that you beat the Chiefs. You stand toe-to-toe with them, and you go at them offensively, firepower and everything. So I'm very impressed with what Jacksonville has done from the trade deadline on into the start of this season. I think what they've done with the drafting of Tank Bigsby is they've solved that short yardage problem that they had in a running game. They'll just give it to Tank Bigsby around the goal line, and he can punch it in. If it's 3rd and 1 from the 50-yard line or 4th and 1 from the 50 and Peterson wants to go for it, they'll send Bigsby in, and they'll bulk up the offensive line, and they'll just hand the ball off to him, and he'll get the 1-2 yards. So they win the division if the defense is a middle-of-the-pack defense or better in the AFC. They lose the division if they sustain an injury on one of these wide receivers or their defense is bottom 7 in the AFC this year.
I like it.
Tanner, what's your thoughts here on the Jags?
I mean, not much to talk about. I think Scott hit it straight on. It's not really the offense you got to worry about. Scott, you were talking about taking Bigsby. Don't forget, Dearness Johnson is also in there. He will beat out Michael Hasty for that 3rd spot there on that roster. So that's a guy we've seen in the Browns uniform that's able to take some of those kind of carries as well. So a rotation of Bigsby and Ernest behind Travis Etienne is going to be great. I'm not sure. I just
You're probably right, bro.
Woo! All right. Anyways,
Urban loves the 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink method. The old bowling ball.
It does. So looking real quick at the offense, that's not the issue. Don't forget they also pick up Jamal Agnew as well for that receiver core. I think they're going to be fine here. I love what I'm seeing here. I'm not worried at all. Zay Jones will have another good year. You invested last year in the left or 2 years ago on left tackle. You invested this year with your first round pick with Anton Harrison at the right tackle, right? So now you got 2 young guys there sitting in the tackle position. You're set in the middle, right? Your interior. So your line's fine. Evan Ingram, we all know, is a playmaker there. Travis Etienne might run the ball more. This might be a little crazy down their throats. Again, defense is where our concern lies. Can you stop? Can you make enough stops for your offense who may score 30 points a game, 28, 20, 30, 25, somewhere in that range, to be able to get that victory? Because that's winnable average points per game, right? So I think that the specific thing I'm looking upon isn't the line, isn't the secondary, it's that linebacking core. There's a lot of young guys on that linebacking core that have to have an impact on this Jags team. Ventrell Miller, who they drafted in the 4th round, Chad Muma from last year in the 3rd round, Levon Chasen in the 1st round last year, or 3 years ago.
Allen's a stud.
Chris, that's corner. Trayvon Walker, Devon Lloyd, and they picked up Olakun from Atlanta. This linebacking core, this is your bread and butter right here. You got great depth, but they got to step up. They got to be a part of it. You got to stop the run. You got to be able to pass protect against the middle there, or pass defense against the middle.
Yep.
Coverage. That's the thing here you got for this Jags team. They win the division if they control the middle. They lose the division if they don't control the middle. That's it.
Love it.
Nick?
Yeah.
So I think they win they don't win the division if that defense doesn't take that next leap up. Tanner just led to it. They got a bunch of young defenders. Josh Allen's the leader of that team. He's an absolute dog and stud.
He's a dog.
Stud. He is a stud. They take a step back. They don't win. Huh?
They almost traded him 2 years ago.
I know.
He had a nice season this past season, though.
Yeah,
they kept him, and he had a good season this past season.
Smart move.
Yeah.
2 years ago, Urban Meyer was running shit.
Yeah, there was a lot of problems 2 years ago that aren't there.
Right.
He's out kicking kickers and sticking his fingers in girls' butts. I mean, I like to do one of those every once in a while, but I'll let you choose which one it is.
When I'm feeling squirrely.
They don't win the division if Trevor Lawrence takes a step back as far as he forces too many turnovers. There's a lot of weapons there. I could see him where he's maybe trying to feed Ridley a little bit too much. If he starts turning the ball, but he played so well the second half of the season. He reminded us how good he was when he played in Alabama. That played against Alabama in that national title game. I was like, this kid is the second coming. Jesus, he was so good in that game. Didn't look great his rookie year. We all washed it out. We blame Urban, and we're rightfully so. So yeah, I mean, we saw that. I sent it in the group chat, the Urban Meyer story about how he made a guy apologize for saying he called him a rookie coach. You want me to read it? Is that true?
No, I'm good.
No, I said Wingert. That's what I said. That's the player.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Wingert. Yeah. So I thought you said read.
Yes.
So
yes,
I mean, we all know Urban Meyer's shithead. So let's move on. Hey, we'll move on to the next team. It's Sam's Titans.
Wait. We got to bring in our guy.
Scroll up. Last year, the Titans. Go ahead.
Let's bring
you
him in.
You want to do that last read, Tanner, before we bring him in here?
No, we'll do it after. Guy,
Okay.
Just fans podcast. Just
I didn't see it pop in there. Yes.
I know you didn't. So,
okay.
you got Mr.
Yes.
Hey, let's give it up for
Rio.
everybody's favorite drunk uncle.
What up?
What's going on, guys?
Rios.
I love you, Rios.
What's going on,
How'd the
bro?
show go, dude?
Everybody's favorite drunk uncle.
What's going on, gentlemen?
Just don't let him near my kid. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that was uncalled for, sir. That was uncalled for.
I love
Come
you. I
on,
was
Sam.
just kidding.
You're gonna make our guest leave.
Rios, how'd the show go, dude?
I went really good. It went a little bit longer than we wanted to, but it was really good.
Good.
That's cool.
Yeah, you just say F us, so we're gonna say F you. Get out of here. No, I'm just kidding. Rios, we just got done talking about the Jaguars. What's your thoughts on the Jaguars going into this year?
We're giving rankings and records predictions at the very end of this, so don't give any of that away.
Okay,
Yeah.
so as far as the Jaguars, I mean, they're still the team to beat in the division. They have the best quarterback in the division. I think with them, it's really going to come down to, like, you did it last year. To see you do it again this year. Because now there's more tape on you guys. Like, there's the question marks. Who knows what Calvin is going to be? He's a great gambler, but is he going to be wide receiver one? He's looked good in practice, but it's practice. It's not week one. We'll see how it does in the regular season. Same thing with the defense. See how you guys hold up with that, because the rest of the division, it's up for grabs, but we'll see.
So we said the Jaguars win the division if blank.
They win the division if
I know that's a lot of brain cells. You got to burn real quick. So
I don't have to win the division. They probably win it if I think there's injuries to, like, the Texas quarterback. That's probably the only way they win the division. Yeah.
The Homer take.
Wow.
hey, and the Jaguars don't win the division because the Texans do. Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say.
I love it.
Tanner,
We'll
Tanner,
get
he's
into
already
the
given
second
his
team
prediction.
here.
He's already given his prediction.
It doesn't take long.
Yeah. Not with everybody's favorite drunk Uncle Rios here. So the second team we'll talk is the Titans. They went 7-10 last year. Obviously, we've talked at lengthium about adding Hopkins. They also added Sean Murphy Bunting. Gone is Taylor Lewan, Austin Hooper, DeMarcus Walker. In the draft, they went to offensive lineman to Peter Skronsky, baby. Then they get Mr. Mayonnaise drinking himself, Will Levis. They get Spears in the third, Josh White in the fifth at tight end out of Cincinnati. Then they get Colton Dalwell in the seventh round there. Rios, what's your thoughts here on the Titans?
Oh, this is going to be great. Hold on.
Honestly,
let me get comfy. Here we go. Right.
Honestly, their season depends on Derrick Henry. They go as Derrick Henry goes. If he stays healthy, they win 5-6 games. If he goes down, they're going to probably be picking top 3. Sorry, Sam.
It's not true at all. Keep drinking.
We'll see.
So
Yeah, that's true.
Do you want to talk about your team next?
So the Titans win the division if what, Rios?
I'll go last for my team.
Okay.
Well, hold on.
They win the division if the rest of the quarterbacks in the division get injured, the running backs get injured, and I don't know, the coaches get arrested. That's probably what the Titans win the division.
Oh my God, I'm going to square off on you so
They-
good when it's Texas turn.
the
I was going to
Titans
be nice
don't
to
win
you
the
today.
division
I'm
if
going to
what?
fuck you up, bro.
The Titans don't win the division if what?
Derrick Henry.
If they don't win it, they're not going to win it. It's not even a question.
All right.
I got a better chance of winning the Powerball.
Your Texans aren't going to win it. Okay, I'm going to tell you that right now. Your rookie quarterback.
Hey, all right. Sam, hold on. You'll have your time to rebuttal in just a minute.
You got a
Well,
whole
what, so
thing.
you get to start the show. You get to start show yelling about everything, and then you're like, "Whoa, somebody else is yelling. Let's calm it down a little bit."
Sam, this is our guest.
We'll get to. I'm going to give you your time to rebuttal. Go
It's
ahead,
fine.
Scott.
It's fine. Go ahead.
Okay,
Scott,
what's the
start with you
over-under
here.
What's the over-under before Will Levis starts? Where he starts drinking mayonnaise on the sidelines.
You have to lose.
6.5.
I have a number for you. They have to lose 4 games. That's how.
So, week 5, he's a starter.
Okay. All right.
I said 6.5 here.
You just made the list.
Scott, go ahead.
It's really easy for this team. Derrick Henry's going to see stack boxes all year long, even though they got DeAndre Hopkins. Teams are going to make Tannehill prove it to them that Tannehill can throw the ball with consistency and get it to Hopkins and Burks and Okonkwo all year long. If he can't do that, then that Titans offense is totally screwed, because teams are just going to stop Derrick Henry, going to sell out, and they're going to make the Titans pass. Whether Tannehill can do that or not, that's the question. The defense had its moments last year. Also, they did give up a lot of yards last year. So, to me, it comes down to very simply, can Ryan Tannehill manage this game and manage the team and make right decisions and smart decisions? The other thing is Tannehill seems to get hurt at times. So, do the Titans have enough confidence in Will Levis to come in the game, because the Liberty Malik Willis is not even going to be a factor this year. He's not even playing. So can Will Levis, if Tannehill gets hurt, come in the game and be effective? That I don't know. I haven't heard any reports out of Titans camp. Sam could probably address that better than I can. But the Titans win the division if Ryan Tannehill has his best year of his career.
Like Geno Smith.
The Titans lose the division if Ryan Tannehill can't manage games and can't get the ball to his 3 weapons in the passing game. Simply put.
Hey, Johnny, we'll go with you here. What's your thoughts on the Titans?
I mean, I like some of the stuff they did. I like the offensive lineman from Northwestern. We'll see what happens with Will Levis. But I like Spears, the running back out of Tulane. I think that was a good pickup. That's it's a good.
It's not true.
Obviously, after Derrick Henry, you got Derrick Henry. You got D Hop. Burks, from all reports, is he's looking good. So I like those 2 weapons. As long as you're not asking Tannehill to win you games, he can manage the game. And you got one of the most dynamic running backs in the history of football. I mean, how many 6'3", 250-something pound running backs do you see? He carried the ball 300-something times last year, and he can do it again. So I know they may stack the boxes, but when you got D Hop out there, you still got to respect that. And that's the one thing Tannehill can do. He can throw it deep, and he can throw it up for somebody. That's all he did to Devontae Parker in Miami, which is throw it up the 50-50 balls between him and Mike Gesicki. So D-Hop is the perfect type of receiver. Burks is actually a bigger receiver as well. So I think Tannehill can do good with those guys. Again, he can manage the game, the play action passing. That's his best attribute, especially when you got a stud like Derrick Henry. So I like some of the stuff that they did. They win the division. I mean, Jeffrey Simmons is a stud in the middle. I don't know about the rest of the defense, to be quite honest. If their defense, see, I mean, it's almost like twofold. Obviously, Derrick Henry has to have a good season, and Ryan Tannehill can't turn into, he needs to be the difference maker that Tanner knows that he is, and not just be, the piece of crap quarterback that he was in Miami.
Now.
If he could be a nice game manager, not make the big mistake, and actually just get the ball to D-Hop and Burks, and Derrick Henry can run the ball, they have a chance. I think if the defense is going to be one of the worst defenses in the league, then they have absolutely no chance of winning the division.
But Johnny, here's a question for me. You said we were talking last night on our show. D-Hop can't run anymore. He can't go down the field. He can't go 15 yards down the field. He's basically 5 to 7 yards and an out, and to catch the ball. That's all
D-Hop,
he is right now. He's a jump ball in the end zone.
That's what I said. Red zone, he's going to be a threat, and you use more Burks and guys like that, in between the 20s. And
as Jim said last night,
D-Hop can help you in the red zone. So, like I said, I mean, we're basically trying to put lipstick on a pig by trying to give you, the Titans can win the division if. You know what I'm saying? There is no if, but we're just playing along with it. You know what I'm saying? So
D-Hop's going to be a great blocker for Derrick Henry for those 3 games.
I think D-Hop is going to have a nice season. So I think they're going to be okay. I think they're going to be better than what people may give them credit for. But they definitely have to be able to have some type of balance on offense, and they got to be able to defend something, man. If they're one of the worst defensive teams in football, then they have no chance. So that will be. They lose the division if the defense is complete crap. They win the division if Ryan Tannehill can actually manage the games well and they can run the ball.
That's the whole thing. I'll let the other two talk before I go.
You don't think Derrick Henry has been facing full boxes his whole career, bro?
I'm going to go last.
And they've never had a D-Hop. I mean, they had A.J. Brown, of course, but I'm telling you, D-Hop, you just got to throw it up, bro.
And Sam can disagree or agree with this. Derrick Henry seems to disappear at times in games.
He does.
He seems to not run like he should. Which if he does that, Tennessee's got no shot winning games. No shot.
Oh no, of course. Well, of course. I mean, if Derrick Henry runs for 1,100 yards, they win 2 games.
Every running back disappears in games, though.
Yeah,
especially it's a silly point.
Right.
Your quarterback has 12 yards going into the middle of the second.
And like I said, they had A.J. Brown before, but they didn't have. I mean, D-Hop and Burks. I think it's going to be a nice 1-2 for that offense as far as wide receivers. I mean, there was nobody with A.J. Brown. It was just A.J. Brown.
Right.
Now they actually have 2 receivers. And they got like I said, I like the Spears kid at running back very well. He's going to be a nice third down back. Like I said, I think if Ryan Tannehill, you know what I'm saying, does it completely pee down his leg, they have a chance to win some games. But my biggest thing is the defense. You know what I'm saying? Because I think Henry's going to get his yards. Yeah. But if the defense can't stop anybody, then it's not going to matter.
Yeah, because then you got to rely on Tannehill to win the game for you.
Right? Yeah. Tannehill ain't gonna throw for 400 yards and win you the game. No, he ain't doing that.
Exactly.
Go ahead,
Tanner, what's your thoughts here?
Nick, Johnny, you guys just want to get out of the way, like real quick here, get your Tannehill jokes going, difference maker. Go ahead, just real quick. Get out of here.
Well, I mean, I had to get.
No, you got it.
When are we ever going to talk about the Titans again?
That's true.
Sorry, Sam.
We might,
Unfortunately, we got a Titans fanatic, so we're probably going to talk about it every freaking week.
They'll probably be
maybe draft season. We'll talk about
that was with nothing but love, Sam. Nothing but love.
All right. Let's get into it, guys. Let's get into the meat and bones here. Okay. Tennessee Titans, of course, like you stated, Nick, their draft picks were all offensive going to play. They did not invest any draft picks in the defensive side this year, which is interesting for a variable team because you expect him to want to go get some guys that want to hit, guys that want to play some defense out there. So that's an interesting take. So let's go to the offense real quick. Investing with Skoronski there in the left guard. Love it. Beefing up that line, getting Brunskill from San Francisco. another decent line. Andre Dillard as well from Philadelphia. Just trying to get a little pieces, trying to, maneuver there because you know what you got to do here besides run the ball. And that is you have to protect Ryan Tannehill. And we'll get more into Ryan Tannehill in a minute. But Treylon Burks and DeAndre Hopkins are going to be your key guys. Chris Moore from Houston. I like the kid. I think he's going to be great. I think he's going to fit in this offense very well. He might even surpass Westbrook here very soon in that case. So, but the wide receivers are outside of the top two are fairly average, but I mean, it's guys that could still step up at times. We'll get more into Tannehill in a minute. Look at the defensive side of things. You went after Autry, which I love that move there for the defensive end. I mean, there wasn't really too much outside of that. Arden Key from Jacksonville, Sean Murphy Button. I think it's kind of overrated, but I think he should fill in quite fine there in the secondary for this team. Like I said, a lot of guys returning. This is a don't catch the injury bug year for Vrabel in this defense. Because if you catch that injury bug, it's going to be a long season for these guys. Back to it. Tennessee Titans win the division if Ryan Tannehill gets D-Hop over 1,000 yards and Treylon Burks at 900 yards. Okay? They win the division there. The Tennessee Titans lose the division. Right? They don't win it at all if Ryan Tannehill goes down.
Well, I mean, you can say that for any team, though.
No,
The starting quarterback goes down. I forgot
you poo-pooed all over Tannehill.
I forgot
he's
the ultimate difference maker.
You can't say that for every team, right? You can't say that for
if Patrick Mahomes goes down, y'all not winning. If Tua goes down,
but you could say if Tannehill gets benched for Will Levis.
You guys are talking Will Levis and Malik Willis filling in for Ryan Tannehill like he's nothing. Ryan Tannehill, as much as you're going to make fun of me later on for it because you're going to take it out of context, he is the difference maker for this team. When Tannehill's not in, you're throwing 12 yards in the second quarter. 12 yards?
No, it's not. Nick. I'm sorry.
I don't care who's behind I don't care if Barry Sanders is behind Tannehill in that one. He's still being stopped consecutively. If Ryan Tannehill is not in this game, and you got to rely on Will Levis for God's sakes and Malik Willis for God's sakes, you are losing this division, Johnny. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
No, absolutely. Right. I absolutely agree with that.
Will Levis is not the answer.
I see where Tanner's coming from, and that was
the hope.
Sam, go ahead, defend your honor.
Sorry, real quick. Before you do, Sam, does the whole panel here is like agree or are y'all all on board that Will Levis is garbage?
Yes.
Bro.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm not gonna say.
How do we know?
Okay. All right. Look. This is a whole different topic.
Easy. Right? Simple answer: mayo and coffee. Discussion's over.
Everybody, let Sam have the floor here and let him defend his honor here.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, okay, let me have your attention, please. Okay, and Rios. I think Tanner's absolutely right. Look, he's had a resurgent here. Tannehill has, and you guys are wrong on several fronts. He has won the game for them when Derrick Henry couldn't do it. He's won games in Houston, Rios, when he won it. Okay, deep ball to wide receivers to win the game. He's done that. He beat the Chiefs, Tanner, not to diss all that, back in 2019. And they had to pass it. They could not run the ball. Okay, so it is possible for him to do it. Also, he hasn't been injured as a Titan until last year. Okay, so let's knock it off with the whole injury thing. I understand it didn't go well in Miami, but he hasn't been injured till last year. So I'll get those facts out of the way. And so when it comes to this kind of thing, there is Sam the fan, which says we're going to win the whole damn thing, F this, blah, blah, blah. And then there's Sam the logical person, right? So Sam sits here and looks at it. He's not wild about the draft. However, I refuse to believe that a Vrabel-led team will not have a good defense. And I think they're going to have the best defense in the division. Not the league, but in the division. Top 10, maybe. So I sit there and say that's going to win you some games. And I think they're going to be number 2 right behind the Jags. They might split with the Jags. They might get beat by both the Jags. But I think you split with Houston, Rios, if that makes you feel any better. But I sit here and I look at this team, and unless they're really gambling on year 2 guys, they are really gambling on Traylon Burks being something. They are really gambling on Chikakonkwo being something. They are really gambling on Kyle Phillips being something. And that is some chances I would have never take. So I think they will be middling this year. Not terrible, not good, but right in the middle of it. Jeff Fisher, right? Just 8-8. Or, in this case, 9-8 or whatever.
Hey, we're not talking records here, Sam. Just tell us you win the division if or if not.
Oh, I'm sorry. They win the division if the wide receivers get the ball. Okay? That's how they win the division. They got to have some passing yards under their belt. Last year was absolutely terrible in that regard. Their offensive coordinator, they've got to get the passing game going. I don't care if it's like Chikakonkwo, because I think it's going to be Chikakonkwo is going to be the big one. That's how I feel. They don't win the division if Will Levis is playing or Malik Willis. That's how I see it.
Boom. That's fair.
Okay. I'm right there with you, Sam. I think if the Titans win this division, if Tannehill throws for 30 plus touchdowns, Derrick Henry plays really well, stays healthy, and they get Hopkins and Burks the ball. But if Will Levis or Malik Willis play more than 4 games, start more than 4 games together,
it's over.
The season's over. So yeah, that's where the Titans. Before we get to cash it in. Before we get to the next team, the Colts. Scott, give us your gambling picks and fantasy picks on the last 2 teams we just covered.
So Jacksonville's fantasy guy is Calvin Ridley, and he holds the key to this whole offensive team. If he is the alpha receiver that everybody says he is in training camp, Jacksonville's offense will be extremely dangerous. If he's not, they're going to be a middling, basically a middling offense. For Tennessee, it's Chikakonkwo, as Sam said. He's the athletic tight end, the guy down the middle that Ryan Tannehill can go to time after time to loosen up the defense and for them to be ultra dangerous in the passing game. In terms of betting, Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence, over under 4,050 passing yards. I think he's going over. I think they're going to throw the ball a lot this year with the Ridley acquisition. For Tennessee, DeAndre Hopkins, 850.5 yards. I think he goes over, but I think it's just over. It's over 900 for sure, if not 1,000.
He's getting a G.
Yeah, and Lawrence's over on the passing yards is minus 115. Hopkins over on the receiving yards minus 110. So it's good value for both. So
like it.
Let's get into the third team here. They finished 3rd in the division. It's none other than the Colts. They got a new head coach now. I passed them on my notes here. They got a new coach. Oh, the Colts got. I guess I didn't even put this Colts on here. I'm an idiot. Where are they at?
Well, why would
Titans?
Well, they're busy delivering killer whale to.
Here we go. They got the new coach. I passed them. They got a new coach. They bring it in. So they got a new coach. Obviously, the disaster that was last year, they went 4-12. They had 2 coaches last year.
They're not. They bring in
Gardner Minshew.
Sorry.
They got a new
question.
New quarterbacks. Gardner Minshew's the backup. They got DeAndre Evans is here. They didn't really sign anybody else. Samson Umbumba, I don't even know how to say his name. Gone is Yannick Ngakwe, Paris Campbell, Bobby Okriki. They did draft. They drafted Anthony Richardson, Julius Burns, Josh Downs, Blake Freeland, and some guy who's got looks like same first name, same last name in the 4th round. I mean, Rios, what's your thoughts here on the Colts, who just seem to be searching for a franchise quarterback since Andrew Luck decided to retire 3 days before the season?
Right. I'm excited to see Anthony Richardson play. It's going to take him probably to like the midway of the season to really find his groove. I'm curious how this Jonathan Taylor situation plays out, though. Like, You're spending $20 million to transport a killer whale, but you won't pay your running back. It's really bizarre, but they go is if JT stays, I think definitely helps the rookie quarterback. If he goes, they're going to be a disaster on the field on both sides of the ball, honestly.
Dang. Boy, he that was short and sweet. Rios.
Tanner, what's your thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it really was like it's not much to say. Like, yeah, they're going to be the picking number one overall.
Yeah, they're definitely in that contention,
Right.
right? I mean, outside of
Yeah, we'll go with you, Tanner. What's your thoughts here on?
Yeah, Alec Pierce, Michael Pittman Jr., Isaiah McKenzie right there in the receiver ranks. I love me some Josh Down as well in this lineup here. I think he gets a lot of targets coming his way towards the middle of the season. Their line's still good. Their line's still really good. It's not like they lost a bunch of guys, but they got to be able to get the ball out and run the ball. Anthony Richardson is not the guy. Garner, the legendary mustache guy, has to be a quarterback in this
Florida man.
At least
That's what I call him.
At least to
He's
start. Give me the mustache to start the season, because why don't throw the rookie in right away? I mean, I don't care how great he looks throwing in drills. Don't throw a guy out there like that. We've seen that happen to rookies, especially rookies that may be on the border of being ready.
Damn, Ed.
Ed's on fire, man.
Houston. So, but I mean, look, the run game's gonna be a concern. We don't know what's gonna happen there. Defensive wise, can DeForest Buckner stay healthy? Can Shaq Leonard can he stay healthy? Can he even play majority of the games this year on that one? Not a lot of stuff happened. I know I did like the Adetomoya Adebayor from Northwestern, that Northwestern defensive end. They have him at D tackle here. Big kid, big guy. He can do it. So I like that one. But yeah, the Colts. Wait, what happened?
Why am I Scott Cope now?
Let's talk about chowder.
Oh, Nick left. That's why. Okay, that's fine.
Oh,
Cockies.
I think,
go put the cardi on.
yeah, Nick just left. That's all it was. So
He's got his hammer. Oh, that's funny.
all right, there we go. We're getting him back. Hang on. So I think the Indianapolis Colts win the division if the Jaguars lose their 6 best starters, the Titans lose their 3 best starters, and the Houston Texans lose everybody else like on top of that. So that's my theory there. It's not a pretty sight. So for that one, Scott, go ahead.
Anthony Richardson is not ready as an NFL quarterback. Not now, not this year at all. I think if the Colts were smart, Gardner Minshew would be the starting quarterback for the whole year. Anthony Richardson is not an accurate passer. The only thing he's got going for him is he can run the ball. I agree with you guys. I think the Colts are going to be in contention for that number 1 draft pick this year. If this Jonathan Taylor situation does not get settled out very quickly, that could fester into the regular season and be a problem for the Colts. If they don't have Jonathan Taylor running the ball for them, there's no way.
Ed, boo.
Ouch.
I think the Colts are in a rebuilding situation big time. I don't think Anthony Richardson can get the ball to Michael Pittman or Alec Pierce unless they're 2 yards past the line of scrimmage. So, I'm really not. The Colts win the division if Anthony Richardson all of a sudden becomes a started quarterback like the Colts think he can be. The Colts lose the division if Jonathan Taylor does not play it down for them this year.
I like that.
Woo, that's good.
I like that, Scott. Johnny, what's your thoughts here?
Johnny's on mute.
We can't hear you.
Johnny, you muted yourself.
There you go, Johnny.
Apologies. I've been coughing a lot. I didn't want to mute it. Aside from Anthony Richardson, obviously, I like what they did in the draft. I like the Brents kid out of K-State, the corner. I'm with Tanner. I like Josh Downs with Pittman. I think that's a good little combo there. They got some offensive line help, and they already have a good offensive line. They got the kid out of BYU, Blake Freeland. And I'm with you with the Northwestern defensive tackle. They had him down as a defensive tackle, defensive end. Anatomina, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But he's a good player. So, I mean, and they had like 6 other draft picks. So they obviously are going to be a young team. They win the division if Jonathan Taylor plays the whole season and Gardner Minshew plays most of the season. They win a division. You know, if they actually sit Anthony Richardson, let him learn, and they go with the mustache, you know what I'm saying, and Jonathan Taylor stays there, I think there's some pieces there that they may be able to do something. I mean, I'm trying to spin it, you know what I mean, because we're doing this whole they can win if, you know, whatever. But they lose it. I'm with Scott. They lose it if John.
I think it's a great suggestion.
Yeah, if Jonathan Taylor doesn't play, they're going to get the first pick in the draft, bro. Or if Anthony Richardson plays every game, they're going to get the first pick in the draft.
Free Willie. Oh my God.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, Jimmy Percocet, baby.
Oh, Jimmy Perkins. They
if Tony
so
the Colts win the division,
the Colts win the division. If the skies part, seas part, and we realize that Anthony Richardson is the second coming of Jesus Christ himself, and he walks on fucking water. That's how the Colts win this division, because it's just not happening. They have absolutely zero talent. So unless Anthony Richardson is Jesus Christ himself, that's the only way this team's winning the division. They don't win the division by just, I don't know, line it up on Sunday. That's all they got to do. Who knows? I think we're going to have to develop Anthony Richardson. They're hoping that Shane Steichen can do for Anthony Richardson what he did for Jalen Hurts, but even that took some time, and it's going to take some time this year too for him. They have no weapons. I mean, we talked JT. Who knows if he's showing up, not showing up? We talked about that already on Monday's show. They have no offensive wide receivers, no tight end to speak of. A couple years ago, they had a great offensive line. This team absolutely stinks. Get Pat McAfee back to being a punter or something, because at least then it'll be entertaining to watch.
The tickets on the field. By the way, this is gonna be like one of those weird ass teams that, you know, they expect to suck, kind of like the Seahawks last year, right? We expected them to just be awful, right? Compete for the number one pick, and then they're gonna turn in. They're gonna have like a 5-game win streak to start the season, and we're gonna be like, all right, what the hell's going on here?
Right.
Is the world ending? Is the skies gonna part?
Well, what the hell's going on?
Let me repent my sins now, then.
All right. Do we have enough time to do
Scott, before we get on to the
I didn't do the Colts.
Oh,
good morning.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Short,
my bad.
short
I'm sorry.
and sweet here. It's okay. Pretty much you guys have covered it, right? Anthony Richardson is nowhere near ready. I mean, you look at that camp and watch him skip balls on a 5-yard out, and you're like, oh, God help me. So, like, he's got a long way to go. Doesn't mean he won't be good later, but I just don't see it. I think their secondary is improved, and that might win you a couple of games, but I think they're bottom feeders. I don't think they win more than 4 games. I think they're, you know, they'll probably steal 1, but I think they only win 4 at most. But yeah, they win the division if pretty much like Nick. I'll go with I can't remember if it's Johnny or Scott said if Florida man starts the game, Gardner Minshew. I think because that guy can at least, you know, do his thing. They lose. Well, I mean, they lose if they start Anthony Richardson the whole season. That's how I see it. He's not ready at all.
Hey,
all right, now it's time to talk about the worst
Scott, go ahead and give us the NFC South. Hold on. Scott, go ahead and give us
So my fantasy
give us our
back
fantasy and gambling here on the
in the
Colts.
South is Jonathan Taylor. If he does not run like he did 2 years ago when he was the leading rusher in the NFL, the Colts are in serious trouble. If he doesn't show up and play, the Colts are in serious trouble. So Jonathan Taylor is going to have to be that beast of a running back that we all know he's going to be. I have no betting angle on the Colts. My betting angle for the Colts is will Ed in Columbus get his own 30-minute comedy show on Let's Talk Sports this year?
Hey, what is the over-under on wins for the Colts, Scott?
It's 6.5 right now.
Oh,
Really?
Dropping.
Wow.
Definitely under. The under.
Dropping fast. It was 7.5. I think it's some books it's 6.5, and other books it's 5.5. You just got to shop around. But I don't think they win more than 3 games this year, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Dang.
If Gardner plays, maybe 5, maybe 5. But if Gardner doesn't play, they may only win a game or 2.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have a feeling if they ship out JT, they're probably going to just put out Richardson just to get some fans in the seats. But it's going to be a disaster to watch because he's not ready to start.
It is. It most definitely is.
All right, let's get into the last team of the division here. They finished dead last, had the first pick. They traded up to get the first pick in the draft. It's the Houston Texans. They finished 3-13 last year. New head coach, new general manager, new fresh start for the Rios' Texans. Man, they brought in a lot of great players. Dalton Shorts, Jimmy Ward, Sheldon Rankin, Quill Griffith, Denzel Pearman, Devin Singletary, Robert Woods, Noah Brown, Michael Dieter, Case Keenum, Hassan Ridgeway, Case Winovich, Corey Littlejohn, Steven Sims. The only people that left town is some guys whose name I can't pronounce, and Rasheem Green. Obviously, in the draft, man, they crushed it in the draft. Gotten C.J. Stroud, took him number 1 overall. Will Anderson, or not number 2 overall. I'm sorry, the Texans did. Will Anderson, Juice Struggs, Nathaniel Dell, Dylan Horton, and Henry Tutu. Rios, tell us why your Texans are going to win this damn division.
Did you mention Cooks?
So let me preface this. Oh, yeah, Brandon Cooks left, but it wasn't too big of a loss. I mean, it would have been nice to have a legit number 1 receiver, but he didn't want to be here. Like, what? You need something like that, bro.
I wouldn't want to be there either.
No, so let me say, for the last few years, I've been the biggest pessimist. Furthest thing from a homer there is. I was always, we're going to win 1-2 games. I've been right for the last couple of years. But with the hiring of D'Amico and just all these moves they made, I get a renewed sense of hope. And just looking back at some of the games last year, there was a lot of one-score games we lost because incompetent quarterback play. The defense kept us engaged. We took the Chiefs to overtime. We lost because Davis Mills fumbled the ball. They were already in their own side of the field. Easy field goal. So I think now with D'Amico changing the defensive scheme, that Tampa too. Oh my God! I never want to hear those words ever again in my life. Because the year before you took Derek Stingley number 3, and he's a man-to-man corner. You have him playing. His job's not to cover grass. His job is to cover your team's best receiver. You had him out of place, and it was a disaster all around. Now you got D'Amico bringing in the same scheme the 49ers run. You got a competent quarterback play with the rookie. He's a rookie. He's going to make mistakes, but again, a rookie CJ is better than Davis Mills. You got a healthy Dameon Pierce. You got a competent backup running back. Because last year when Dameon Pierce went down, our running back was Rex Burkhead. That was just disaster to watch.
It was.
Woo, they go trolling over here. Damn, son.
Yeah, he can say what he wants, but
yeah. Isn't that the internet for you?
Yeah.
I like it.
So, Rios, the Texans win the division. The Texans win the division if what?
They win the division if on defense those guys can stay healthy, and if C.J. Stroud doesn't have the make a ton of rookie mistakes. I think this team's going to be carried by the defense. They're going to win a lot of games, but it's going to be ugly wins. Winning by a field goal, the relying on the running game.
13-10, stuff like that.
Yeah, until he finds his stride, and then he actually becomes the leader of the team.
Wow.
Like I said, I got them winning 8. It's gonna be close between them and the Jaguars. Let's put it that way.
Woo! Wow. Okay, that's a little homerish. Johnny, what's your thoughts here on the Houston Texans?
I mean, I actually like what Houston did in the offseason. I was more on C.J. Stroud than the kid going to Carolina. I can't even remember his name right now.
Bryce Young.
Yeah, and then the trade for
God
Will
dang.
Anderson. So they basically got the best defensive player. I
Love the
I
chat
don't
tonight.
I don't think he's going to be all that great in Carolina. I'm just saying, but I like CJ Stroud way better. Then they make the trade up to get Will Anderson, who was probably the best defensive player on the board. So I like that one. Scruggs is a good player on the offensive line, but free agency. They got Devin Singletary to help them out in the backfield. Hopefully, Damian Pierce does come back 100%. The kid is a stud. They got Schultz at tight end. They got Jimmy Ward at free safety. They got Robert Woods to kind of replace.
He said 8, Flo.
Cooks. Sheldon Rankins, a defensive tackle they got from. So I think D'Amico Ryan's got some of the guys that he wanted. So I think the defense is going to be better. I'm not nowhere drinking Rios' Kool-Aid on this. I can't drink that hard liquor that Rios be drinking, man. I just can't do it. But I think they're going to be. I think they're definitely going to be better. They win the division if CJ Stroud turns out to be that dude. You know what I'm saying? I think he'll be good, but I don't know that he's just going to come out the box, just playing that well.
Not that dude, but that dude.
Right. But if he does, then they have a chance because I think the defense is going to be really good. And they don't win the division. I guess if Damian Pierce ain't 100%, and they can't protect this kid up front, then they have no chance. And if he's not, it's all on CJ Stroud. If CJ Stroud is that dude, they have a chance to win games because that defense is going to be good. If he's not, then they're going to struggle. So I think it's all on CJ Stroud whether they win the division or not.
Scott, what's your thoughts here on the Texans?
Good job, Johnny. That's
good.
Good. Yeah. So I think the Texans are going to be much improved this year. If you guys don't remember, the Texans were a top 10.
Oh, here we go.
defense against the pass. So
boo-hoo.
So they're really good against the pass, and they just brought in D'Amico Ryans, who's a defensive coach.
Yep.
So in other words, if they can focus on the run and slow down teams from running against them, this secondary is fine against the pass. So they'll be a much better defensive team in going forward all season. Offensively, everybody questions the Robert Woods signing. I don't. Here's why. The Texans needed that veteran wide receiver to come in and not be a force, but to help out the younger receivers to feel their way through the NFL.
Don't forget, John Mechie's coming back too. He wasn't on the list, but he didn't play. He didn't play last year because of cancer. So.
And the other guy,
he's looked damn good at training camp so far.
Yeah, Tank Dell was a guy that C.J. Stroud banged on the table for the Texans to draft. So you know that if C.J. Stroud wanted them to draft him, and they did, he's going to throw to him a lot.
Yep.
So I think that the Texans are going to be a much, much better team because their quarterback play is going to be better than it was last year. They have a coach that will give them stability in their whole organization. And with those two things alone, their Texans will be much, much better and will be competitive in almost every game they play. The Texans win the division if C.J. Stroud comes of age this year as the season goes on and he becomes a solid NFL quarterback. The Texans do not win the division this year if that defense takes a step back from where they were last year. So that's what
fair enough.
Sam, your thoughts on the Texans here?
Rios, I love you. I love our friendship and everything like that. Your Texans are going to win 7 games.
I didn't know you guys were friends. Rios, you're not friends with him, are you?
Yeah.
Tanner, I thought you told.
I'm going to pull out the DMs. Hold on. But
friends is a strong word.
Very, very okay. Very familiar acquaintances. Anyway, I think the Texans next year will be way more diddly than this year. I think it's all got to come together, and I don't think it's going to get him. I'm not going to get him. I think it's just an opinion. I think the Texans are not going to have it all together this year. I think C.J. Stroud struggles early and then gets better late. but I just see them only getting 7 wins. I can't see them going over it unless
Sam, no predictions till the end.
Yeah.
No
Well, I
predictions.
mean,
I'm just giving a point of reference here.
We go for it again. It don't matter. So
okay, all right, cool. I think they struggle a lot early. I do love their draft picks. I do like D'Amico Ryans. There's no doubt about it. I think they've made some significant moves, but they're not ready to come together yet. So I see them kind of a little below middling, and I do expect them to get better next year and the year after that, and then that's when I'd be ready for them to volcano. They win the division if that defense is just balls to the wall. That's how I see it. And they lose the division if CJ Stroud is poopy. So.
Very eloquent, sir. Very eloquent. Poopy.
Your thoughts, baby.
Poopy.
Look, I love the new coaching change. I love CJ Stroud. I know I was indifferent about the last team and their rookie quarterback, but I believe this is a better situation with better weapons as well coming into play.
Yeah.
He's going to be good. I love me some T. Dale. I think the Robert Woods signing is important, and same with the Dalton Schultz. Because you added a veteran presence on that offensive line that are part of the weapons, that were part of an offense that got targets. Very important to remember that. Robert Woods and Dalton Schultz. Robert Woods may not play the whole season, but still very important to this team for the Houston.
He led the team in drops last year on my team. Just FYI,
and
not open dropping.
He's also coming back. This is year 2 removed from his ACL surgery.
Right. This is another year.
Does that affect his hands? Does that affect his hands?
Listen, he's the number 4 wide
No,
receiver.
just your mom's cooking does.
Shut up.
They were just
See, this is what Sam has a point. Sam has a point, so you got to poo-poo on it. He didn't catch the damn ball last year.
I just said your mom's cooking had it on it.
No, fuck your mama.
Robert. Oh gosh, Robert Woods. No, he did not. He did not have a good year performance-wise. But again, it's the knowledge that he brings, the veteran presence that he brings is important for this Houston team, especially important for Stroud. Look, I think it's the defense is all that makes the whole difference of this team. Offense, all they have to do is just play average. D'Amico Ryans, if he can get anything close to what he had in San Francisco, of guys just balling out, playing hard, just like you said, Sam, going hard on the defensive side, that's the key right here. Defense needs to be top 10 in order for this team to win the division. If this team is not top 10 in their defense, they do not win the division.
That's fair.
All right, so here's the Texans win this division if D'Amico Ryans makes this defense the 49ers defense. That's where they can win this division. That's how they win this division. Now, you guys all hinted on CJ Stroud. I'm going to say this. Sometimes you're a good coordinator, i.e. Hackett. Sometimes you're good and you're a good coordinator, not a good coach like Hackett. If D'Amico Ryans is not a good coach and he's just a good defensive coordinator and doesn't have the right guys around him to help him out, this team's not going to be very good either. They're going to be better.
If that's the case,
they're going to be better than they're going to be better than the Colts, but they won't be better than they won't be as good as we think they are. So that's why they won't win the division. Scott, before we start making our predictions, give us our gambling and fantasy aspects here.
Fantasy guy is CJ Stroud. I think if he becomes the quarterback that the Texans want him to become, I think the Texans can be a 500 team this year, if not better. The betting angle is just simple: 6.5 wins over under. I think they go over.
All right. Hey, let's go. We'll just go around. We'll give it. Say your fourth team, the team you got finished dead last, and their record. Rios, we'll start with you. The team you got picked dead last in the record.
I'm gonna go Colts 2-15.
Woo.
Johnny, the team you got to pick dead last in the record.
Johnny.
Johnny, you muted again.
What happened, Johnny? Come
Stop
back.
muting yourself. Wherever they hit.
Sorry,
come back.
I'm trying to be respectful because there's background noise here. I got 3-14 for the Colts, man. 3-14.
Scott, go ahead.
Colts 3-14.
Sam.
Colts 4-12.
With 17 games.
18.
Oh, I'm
17
sorry.
games.
I'm
sir.
sorry. I'm sorry. 4 and 13.
I did the same thing.
I'm still doing the 16 game season. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Colts with the same win as the Packers, 3 games.
Oh my God, that was unnecessary.
You're just like taking that dig at you, don't you?
Go ahead, Nick.
You can't fucking wait
You're
till
the
we prove you
deciding
wrong.
factor here, Nick.
Hey, I got the Colts. I got the Colts. The same thing. 3 and 14.
Yeah.
Dead last.
So that's our pick. Then,
Rios.
Yeah, well, the teachers keep going to
Everybody's got
Argentina.
the Colts dead last.
Right, but the three of us got them at 3 and 14. Are we not doing that for all the? You know what I'm saying? That's the LTS official.
I mean, no.
Rankings.
Yeah,
for the
I mean, no,
Colts.
we didn't do that for the other picks.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, everybody did. Yeah. Rios, pick your second to last team, your third place team in this division.
Sam, let's start this by saying I love you, but it's going to be the
Hey,
Titans.
go ahead.
5 and 12.
Wow.
Totally fine. Totally get it.
A lot of love in those matches.
Hey, Tanner, go ahead. Your third place team.
My third place team is the Houston Texans.
What's your record? What do you got for the Texans?
Sorry, they win 8 games.
Okay. Sam, your third place team.
Texans 7 and 10.
Okay.
7 and 11.
Yeah,
baby.
7 and 11.
You're right. 7 and 10. You're right. My
Texas
Yeah, I was
7
like,
and
wait a
11.
minute, did I get it wrong again? Shit.
The math's not
Just tell
bad.
us how many wins you got.
I
How many
just
wins you got?
figured you were going to be one short, so I got ahead of myself.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh,
I'm with
rude,
I'm with Sam and Tanner. I got the Texans at 7 and 10.
It's a clean
Scott,
sweep down here at
look.
7 and 10. Houston Texans.
Man, I do think the Texans got their building here, but I just like the I like
man.
I like
agree they're building. I said
yeah,
it.
yeah. I think they're building great. I think we're going to see. They're going to start the season real shitty, but the last month and a half of the season, they're going to come on and they're going to win 7 games. I think they could win 3 out of the last 4 games, and that's how they get to 7. I don't even know what the schedule looks like. I'm just fucking throwing crazy shit out here. Like Derek Lewis, I just throw some shit out here and hope it sticks. So I got the Texans in third place. Rios, who you got finishing second?
I'm going to go Jaguars, 9 and 8.
Oh, you fucking homer.
We knew this already, bro. Go ahead,
You
Tanner.
warned us ahead of time.
Let's just say I'm a better gambler than Calvin. I don't lose.
All right, JG.
Hey, go ahead, Scott. We'll flip it to you this time. Oh.
I got the Titans at 10 and 7 until Mike Vrabel.
Hey.
Until Mike Vrabel
10
shows
wins.
me that. Yeah, Mike Vrabel's the best coach in the NFL in my mind. I think he'll have the Titans playing
Attaboy.
really hard, and I think they'll find a way to get to 10 wins.
We talked
Sam?
about you first hour.
Your second place team.
Second place team, my Tennessee Titans. I'll go 9 and 8. Thought about 8 and 9, but I'll go 9 and 8.
Tanner.
We got the Tennessee Titans here, 9 and 8 as well.
Hey,
I got them one below that. I got the Titans at 8 and 9.
I was struggling with it
second
too,
place.
Johnny.
In second
That's
place.
where I was.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Johnny. I got the Titans at 8 and 9. 1 game, so
What is
they're
that
going to be
supposed to
fall.
They're gonna be one game. Them in Houston will be
One game ahead of the
apart.
Texans.
Yeah.
One game of the Texans. I went back and forth. So I'm probably going to get tired of talking the Titans with Sam on the show anyway, so I hope they lose every game. Actually, I hope they almost make the playoffs so he has to drink mayonnaise. So
Yeah, I was
we'll
like,
see. But yeah, I got the Titans in second.
We want them to win. We need D-Hop 1,000
Yeah, I
yards
guess I do.
for them to win.
if they do it, gentlemen, I'll
As
be
long
the
as he
happiest
gets
guy.
1,000 yards, that's all that matters.
I hope he gets 999.
Rios, we know you got your Texans in first place here because you're a homer. What do you? What's your guys' record here?
I got it for a lot of bets, but you're exclusive.
So I'm gonna go one game better than the Jaguars, 10-7. We had the easy worst division in football. We played the NFC South this year. It's gonna be a lot of easy wins.
Wow.
Johnny, who you got here? What first place?
I got the
you
Jags.
got the Jags, and what's the record?
Jags winning division. I got them at 12-5.
Scott.
And I agree, Bobby. The Jets let me down. Aaron Rodgers is going to let me down all year long. I know it's coming.
For heaven's
I have the Jaguars at 12-5.
Sam.
Jaguars 11-6.
Tanner, what you got?
Jags with the 10 wins.
We're close. We're very close.
The Jags won 9 games last year. I got them to get 11 this year. They take 2-game jump. The Jaguars are your AFC South Division champions. Can't wait to see them in the playoffs. Book it, baby.
Rios, 1, 2, 3.
Rios.
Boo, boo.
Rios,
Hey,
we'll get you out of here. Tell
I'll be the happiest
where
man
they
ever.
get you.
Hey, when I write in January,
Tell everybody where they
much
can get
sweeter.
you. Rios, tell everybody before we get out of here. Tell everybody where they can you and your girlfriend Carlos they can catch you and your girlfriend Carlos at.
Oh my God.
And who's the bottom and the top in that situation? I feel like he's definitely the bottom.
He's a
Carlos
power
has
bottom.
feminine features, so I figured he'd be on the bottom.
He's a power bottom.
He ain't your slump buster though, baby. Remember that.
Oh wow!
You're the one of those slump busters, Sam.
Where
Rios,
can we catch you at? What you guys got going on?
Yes, one was drinking margaritas this last couple weeks. One was drinking beer. You guys put it together.
Exactly. And they were sending me pictures of at the Astros game, and Carlos is just slonging dogs, like just eating them whole.
The man has no gag reflex. Just swallowing him whole.
I love the Astros.
No hitter.
I was just
Fuck your
chili
guardian,
cheese sauce,
Sam.
just taking a full on.
He's like a duck. He just puts it down his throat and just swallows.
If you could have seen my face, because he calls me during the game, he goes, "That's a no-hitter. Lick the fattest part of my ass." And my wife was just dying in the background. My wife just dying, and she's like, your team sucks. Your friends hate you. And I'm like, thanks.
Following.
What do you guys got?
He does.
What the fuck? The chat's gone crazy. We gotta get out of here.
Sorry,
Go
Dan.
nuts.
What do you guys got going on the rest of the week, Rios?
I'm dying, man.
This episode is definitely not suitable for children.
Bro, the swallowing glizzies for some time.
Well, welcome to the Let's Talk Sports.
Welcome to the LTS show, folks.
Rios, what you got going on this week, bro? let me throw this up here.
Hey, Carlos, put it in the chat. Rios lost it. We're trying to get it.
Subscribe.
All right, so tomorrow we're this episode. We recorded tonight with our friend Big Sarge. He's one of the bigger media guys in Houston, so that's coming out tomorrow morning. We have a live show on Saturday on Let's Talk Sports, and we're probably going to do a show on Tuesday. We'll see how that goes. Damn you, Sam! Stop laughing.
Rios, we appreciate you joining us. Give it up for Carlos's boyfriend and co-host of the Just Fans Boys, Rios. We'll see you, Rios.
All right, Rios. Have a good night, bro.
Thanks, Rios.
You too, guys.
Bye, Rios.
Johnny, get us to your final closing statements while Sam collects himself.
Real quick, Alan, bro. The LTS show is the godfather of Off the Rails, bro. That's where Off the Rails came from. Is from this show. So just remember that, Alan.
Shit.
My final thought is just it's been a great week. These last couple of shows, that Monday show was awesome with Jim and with Jonathan. I had fun. Finally, the Johnny Cruz show is back Monday nights, 8 p.m. Let's Talk Miami Dolphins Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Like I mentioned, the Flo, thanks to Flo and Whitfield and Tofu. It was nice having him back, and Bobby G. Thanks everybody for making the comments. But yeah, the Johnny Cruz show is back 8 p.m. Mondays. Let's Talk Miami Dolphins with my boy Alex Tuesdays at 8 p.m. We had a great show on Wednesday. Me and my boy Scott on the Scott Cove show with John Coventry. Definitely check that one out. And the Scott Cove show is going to be moving back to Thursdays at 7. And of course, LTS Monday nights 9, Thursday nights 9 p.m. and Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. I'm going to have an interesting cruising top 5 this Sunday coming up. So definitely check us out. It's been a lot of fun. I love doing this show with you guys, yo. It's the best. It's the best show out there, man. I don't care what anybody says, man.
Shoo. Scott, who we betting on tomorrow night?
We don't have any bets yet. I will post them in the group chat tomorrow.
Scott, that's your one damn job. Your one job is to give the people some bets. You're the gambling guy.
Nick, here's the thing you need to know.
Yeah, you can't be the face. That's me.
Your bets and numbers, your prop bets and stuff, they don't drop till like 2 a.m. our time. So
that's right.
You gotta wait till at least 2 a.m. our time to be able to throw bets in for the next day because you don't know what the numbers are yet.
That's true.
Calm down.
And this will listen. This
you got to be prepared.
This will be the last outro because YouTube just called me and they're canceling the show as of tonight because of Rios. So thank you very much.
It's like we're out.
Couple things real quick. First of all, the Scott Code show last night. If people are in fantasy, they need to go watch it. Jim Coventry gave us a bunch of information that was really good that people weren't thinking of. Secondly, Dan Harris, shout out to Dan. Hope you feeling good. Get better soon. Would love to hear you back on the airwaves again. I've been talking to Dan the last 3 days. So again, shout out to Dan Harris. Hope he's feeling better. And I'm getting a signed Tom Brady jersey from him in the mail this week sometime. So thank you, Dan. I appreciate it. So,
hey, Sam, go ahead. Your final thoughts here, sweetheart Sam.
I had something like meaningful or whatnot, but maybe this is meaningful for you. Laughing is so very important. You got to have some laughter in your day, especially in like hard times and stuff like that. Like it's been a grueling week for me personally, work-wise, and the wife's not being able to move around as much and stuff like that. It wears on you a little bit. So it's good to get on here and laugh. So find laughter in your day somewhere. Find it.
And if that doesn't happen, just call Rios. He'll make you laugh.
Honest Amish, my man. Mm-hmm. Sell it on Amazon. What?
Tanner, go ahead. Go ahead. Your final thoughts here.
So you do it. Yeah, I've heard of that place. Guys, that was fun. That was a fun little ending there for the preview of division. Always a great time here. 30 nights of fantasy football after dark continues after this show here. Mr. Scott Cobe is going to join us here. So I'm excited for that. We're going to do some mocks on sleeper. We'll see what else goes on. So, but we'll give you updates training camp. But I mean, I will blast on this thing here. Let's keep this thing rolling.
Touche. Man, I've been dealing with like some internal stuff like in my head, and I tell you guys all the time, I really suffer from like I do like depression and shit like that, man. I tell you guys this all the time, and I was like going through just a phase here the last like 48 hours of shit, just whatever. And what comes in the mail today is none other than Scott said he was getting a signed football or jersey. Dan Harris sent me a signed Aaron Rodgers football. And I was reminded at that moment when I needed something to pick me up, like whatever I got going on, like Dan Harris is like this great dude who's built this great platform. And like, he has struggled through things his whole life. And He's done things and built something special here. The 5 or 6 of us, whatever it is, tuning in all the time, and he continues to, he didn't have to send me this. He doesn't have to do the things that he does. And like, he needs to be worrying about himself, and his selfless acts continue to inspire me to be like, man, like whatever I got going on, like that guy's got 10,000 things more worse, and still continue to be the most selfless person you could ever meet in life. Appreciate you, Dan Harris. Appreciate you, boys. This is a great show. So let's get out of here. Be a friend, tell a friend, folks. Like, subscribe, share. We'll see you Sunday morning, 8 a.m. Central for the boys. I'm Bodkins. See you guys. Tanner, hit that outro, baby.
We're not gonna take it anymore.
Life better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way. What I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Bloody hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep on these scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change, you can say no, free me.